Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 6 of the Intermission Podcast, a show where two film students discuss classic, iconic, and obscure films from times gone by. We're your hosts, Oscar W. Fitchett.
Robbie Tweedale.
I was so smooth there.
That was good, That's the best one we've had.
It definitely is. Speaking of best ones that we've done, I want to just reflect a little bit. I fully think that The Godfather Part 3 from last week was our best episode. I loved it so much.
Yeah, it was fucking daft one.
You don't realize how long I took just listening back to that. That was some of the funnest editing I've ever had. I just kept rewinding back to a point. It was beautiful. I loved it.
Oh, it was fun, that.
I had like solid 5 clips from that in terms of what I was going to use for the preview clip. And I was like, well, I don't know which one to do, so I went with Lucky Coat.
Lucky Coat.
Moving on from that film, because let's never
talk about it again.
Except for only talking about the fact that we had a belter of a podcast last week about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right then. Also, I want to say this, Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait until we can actually meet in person again.
Oh, man.
Because what I've realised... it's
is that you missed the touch of my tender skin?
Well, I missed the odd Robbie Tweedale hugs. That's been I've been missing that. But also what I've realised within our friendship is we went on Skype, we bullshit for ages, and then we're like, oh, we should best get recorded. So now we're like purely professional, where we're like,
we're good at it now.
Oh yeah, we're on Skype. We go, you all right? Yep. Okay then.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Right then. One more thing I want to say before we get right into this episode is I keep meaning to mention this, but I don't do it. So better late than never. 6 episodes in.
Yes.
There's time codes in the description for anyone who wants to skip about, whether it's on podcast or YouTube. If you want to skip about, because I'm aware this. They're quite daunting episodes if you look at the simple
They're
run
pretty
time
long.
of them. Yeah, so if you only want to listen to certain points, there's time codes in the description. Because if you see, we're talking about The Godfather Part 3 for 2 hours 40. You might be like, Jesus Christ, are they talking about for all that time? We talk about the film for maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Ish. And then the rest is like Letterboxd and trivia stuff and just other stuff like that. So, just so you know, if you only want to listen to the discussion, time codes in the description. There you go. With that being said, Robbie.
Yeah, mate.
Let's get into it, because, rock and roll.
I just wanted to say before we start, I've got a coffee and some chocky biscuits. So if you're listening and you hear some me chomping about a bit, it'll be gone in a bit. I'm just saying.
We're recording this. It's not massively early to when we do it. It's 5 to 1 at the minute, but
yeah, but it's early for me,
It's early for me as well. To be fair, and recently within the past few days, I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima, so I've had to pull myself away from that too.
I'm so jealous, man. I really want it.
I love it so much. I love it so much. We're not talking about Ghost of Tsushima. We're talking about the 1973 crime biopic Serpico, which is directed by Sidney Lumet, written by Norman Wexler and Wardell Salt, based on the book by Peter Maas, and it stars Al Pacino as Frank Serpico. The plot synopsis of Serpico, according to IMDb, is an honest New York cop blows the whistle on rampant corruption in the force, only to have his comrades turn against him. Accolades that the film holds is that it has a 90% on the tomato meter and an 88% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. It holds a 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb and a 3.8 stars out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. Other accolades that the film holds is that it won a Writers Guild of America award for Best Drama Adapted from Another Medium. It was nominated for a Grammy for Album of Best Original Score written for a Motion Picture. It was nominated for a Directors Guild of America award for Outstanding Directorial Achievement in Motion Pictures. It was nominated for 3 BAFTA awards, including an Anthony Asquith Award for Film Music, Best Director for Sidney Lumet, and Best Actor for Al Pacino. It was nominated for 2 Golden Globes, including Best Drama Picture, and it won 1 Golden Globe for Best Drama Actor for Al Pacino, and it was nominated for 2 Academy Awards, including Best Adapted Screenplay for Norman Wexler and Waldo Salt, and also nominated for Best Lead Actor for Al Pacino. This is my 3rd time seeing this film. This is your first time, Robbie.
My first time.
Literally earlier today, am I right?
Yeah, earlier this morning.
Yep, and reason why we're going to this is because we went through 70s Coppola, and then 190s Coppola.
Don't talk about it.
So we thought we'd go back to the 70s, specifically 70s Pacino, something we're familiar with. Different director, Sidney Lumet. That's how I got interested in this film, because Sidney Lumet directed my favourite film of all time, and this was another film of his that I was interested in, so I was like, right, I may as well get on that film. Robbie, curiosity.
Yes?
What did you think of the film?
Right, I think you're going to be really chuffed with this. It's probably my favourite one that we've talked about on the podcast as of so far.
It's so fucking good, isn't it?
It's so good. I think it's tied with Godfather Part 2 for my favourite one that we've watched so far.
Before we get further, I just want to also throw a quick warning. Just remembered, this is spoilers. We're talking spoilers about the film. If you haven't seen Serpico, get out of here.
Go leave. Watch it. It's good. You want my non-spoiler thoughts? It's great. Go watch it. There you go.
It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, no, I remember watching this when I think I watched it again. I might have been 18 when I first watched this film. And then I remember rewatching it, I think a few weeks after I watched it for the first time, because I wanted to show Gary it. And I remember really liking it. I don't think Gary quite grasped it. He might like it again. I remember liking it a lot, and I hadn't revisited it in a while, and I thought, well, I'm kind of have to throw this in there for the intermission, because I really want to rewatch this again at some point.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking good, man.
Yeah, it's great.
So good. Let's jump into some of your notes, Robbie, then. Okay.
So I haven't got a lot of notes on this one. Yeah,
neither have I. I've got, I'm not a lot, I've got roughly 2 sides of A4, but they're not really massively stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I put the first note that I made was, why do all these people care about Serpico? Right. In the opening scene, everyone's like, "Oh my God, Serpico's been shot," and all this, and I knew in myself it was a flash forward. I was like, this is definitely a flash forward, and it's the earliest I can think of a movie that I've seen where it's like, how did this all happen? And then he goes back. But it set him up pretty well. Because you're interested straight away from the opening scene. You are like, I am intrigued in this plot. Like a lot.
How much did you know about this?
I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing. I had no idea who Frank Serpico was. I had no idea about his story, about the book. I had no idea.
Yeah, this was my exposure to Frank Serpico. But yeah, I've got my first note is literally opening sucks you right into the film.
Yeah, it does. Like straight away. And I thought the sound design there was really good. Yeah. I loved it because it's really chaotic when he's in the car with the siren and the window wipers, which are very prominent as well. Yeah, very good stuff. That was really good. I put I love how he's handling this dude, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, I do. The guy that they arrest at the beginning for rape, and then he takes him to the coffee shop, and he's all like, "Yes, I don't think you really want to be involved with this. I think you're just a good kid who got in the wrong crowd or whatever." Really good. Like you understood his character straight away. Oh yeah. Because before that, he hasn't really done a lot. That conversation in the car.
Yeah. That's. I mean, the whole film is kind of Frank's save the cat moment, but that's kind of his save. That's the save the cat moment. The thing of like, instantly that like. No, I guess maybe the save the cat moment is he doesn't beat the shit out of him. Yeah. Before, but I mean, again, the whole film is kind of like his big save the cat moment. But like that moment is definitely like that moment in the script where it's like a definitive line between him and the other police officers. Yeah, definitely.
I'll put because I noted at the beginning, I saw that it was edited by D.D. Allen, who is who was the editor of Bonnie and Clyde as well.
Oh, right, okay.
And again, similar to how it was in Bonnie and Clyde, the editing's really good in this.
Yes.
It's really, it moves at a clip, this film.
I got here because I'll just rattle off a few of my notes.
Yeah.
Just there. I've got, again, opening section of the film. Opens with no music. You see the credits, and the first sound is police sirens. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Cinematography has beautiful blocking and framing, like the depth of shots, like the layered of shots, where it's like like that phone call, like the first phone call where he goes, where there's like 3 police officers behind a desk, and then one of them goes, someone's been shot. One guy turns around, Serpico, and then the other guy in the back turns around. Like, I love that bit there, and the film plays a lot with that. And I got in the first 2 minutes, we know so much about Frank. I go like the police chatter about him.
Yeah.
I got here. Oh yeah, for example, like we got a wounded cop, but you think a cop did it. I know 6 who would.
Yeah.
Like, in the first 2 minutes, you're like, wait, what? Like if you know nothing about Serpico, it's like, wait a minute, who's this guy that got shot? He's a police officer, or like he might. He's a police officer. He's not liked by other police officers. What is going on? It's just instantly like in there. I've got that Warner with Frank on the stretcher. Oof.
Really good.
Yeah, I got here just generally the cinematography is solid.
Yeah.
Just overall, it's a really solidly shot film. And here, as you said there, the editing. I got the editing cutting from the hospital to the police inauguration is brilliant.
Really
and like
good.
he cuts back again, it's just excellent. Like you see him, you see Pacino clean shaven, clean cut, just there, and then cut back to him just in the hospital.
Being you,
being me. Just
I did write that as a note. I put it's literally you.
As in looks or what? Or like...
as in looks. Like I tried to. I don't know if anyone will have seen this on my Instagram story by the time this episode comes out. But I tried to trick everyone into thinking that Oscar was dead.
I wish I had that beard. I wish I did. And I will admit, I'm not being funny. There was a period of time where I looked at that. I looked at Pacino in this film when I was like thinking of like a hairstyle and beard.
Yes.
And like different clothing, because I really wanted to get some like sweet clothing, and I was like, well, Serpico. Because
you have that like poncho thing that you wear sometimes, the like jumper thing.
Yeah, I do.
I took note.
I wish I was Al Pacino in this film. The edited, and I got the score. Oofed.
Yeah, it's really great stuff.
And then my note here, 5 minutes in, and the film already has so much good about it. Like it's like I can't think of really any other film. Like a lot of films. Of course, there's many films that probably but I can't think of many that within the first 5 minutes, I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's how is there so much that I like about this?
Yeah.
Already. But and then the music adds so much to a simple shot. Again, I think that's a really good example of music. It's the thing when he's going to the police station for the first time. And it's just a simple shot of him walking to the desk and putting his badge down, being like, I'm here for my job or whatever. And it would be a long, boring shot, like if there's nothing to it. But like the fact you got like that music, it works really well to it. And then I got here, love the choice to have no music for when Frank goes to the rape case.
Yeah.
And the chase.
Oh, yeah. Like,
I like how, like, whenever there's, like... Again, the music always plays when there's not anything majorly intense happening, which I like a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, even in that kind of chase scene where it's meant to be, like, action, there's not the music. There's nothing. There's no, like...
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Like you have nowadays.
There's a lot of quick cuts, which is what I like a lot, because there's a lot of nice long takes. But when something's mad, it's like quick cut. It like works more, but it's not like which is when people use quick cut editing nowadays, especially in action films. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. And I think of that. I think of like stuff like I think it's like Taken 2, when it was just. I didn't see Taken 2, but I've seen clips of it where it's just
when
like,
he's going over that fence and it's about 40 cuts to get him over it.
I couldn't believe that. I'm like, why is that like taking like so much? But yeah, but like I think like films need to do it more like this, where it's more like cut to Frank, cut to the guy, cut to Frank, cut to the guy, cut to them in one shot together, and then love the show. And I've got here these long, smooth gliding shots are great. Brings the frame to life.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
It gives a lot of life to it, but I think I've caught up to you there. But yeah, that's just.
See, my next note was just saying, this is such a different character from Michael Corleone. Which, it's so weird. Like, it's kind of like, but it's not even. I was going to say that it's kind of like the, if you saw Michael in the opening scene of The Godfather 1, and it was a full movie about that guy, if he didn't turn evil. However, it's not really.
No.
Because he's so much better than that.
No, yeah, definitely.
You know, I'll skip a couple of notes down, but I wrote here that he's just genuinely a great bloke.
Yeah.
Like, Frank Serpico is just a great guy.
We can get in. I got a few notes about that, and we'll get more in depth about that.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah.
I think I made that. Brilliant. I think I made that note from when he was walking to his apartment, and he's just like saying hi to everyone, and everyone knows him, and everyone likes him.
Yeah.
And then I put this guy, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it was his brother or not when he went into that shoe shop. I think it was his brother.
I'm not sure.
But I just put, this guy is so excited to see Frankie. He keeps saying it over and over again. He's all like, he finishes every sentence with just a big old Frankie, and everyone's like, "Calm down, mate. Chill the fuck out."
Hey,
I know you're excited to see him, but just calm down.
Hey, it's the '60s. You don't know why anyone was on at that point.
Well, yeah, fair enough. I put, are we gonna track the timeline of this film via his facial hair? And I was right, because we did.
I love that. I've got a note somewhere where I said, like, I love the fact how, like, we don't need, like, title cards to, like, inform. You can, or, like, there's no crossfades, or there's no editing choices to be, like, so many years later. You know time passes because goes from, it's like his hair's a bit longer, he got a mustache, he gets a goatee, he's got a beard, it's Christmas time, he's got different clothes. Like, that's another thing, like, I love that choice.
A great little touch there, though, was that even if you hadn't have caught on to the fact that he'd been at the police department for a while and wasn't a rookie anymore, there's a really subtle little line that he says as he walks in, where he asks the guy something and the guy responds, and he says, "I had a feeling you were going to say that." And you instantly get the idea of, like, oh, he's been around here for a while and he knows these guys now.
Yeah.
So even if you hadn't attracted it from the fact that, oh, he's got a mustache now, it's still, like, really nicely, subtly put into the script as well, so it's good shit.
Yeah, I think I know. I think I looked at, like, how long I watched it. It was, like, 48 minutes. And then I realised, and the film's, like, 2:10, which it doesn't feel like that at all. It doesn't feel like 2 hours, 10 minutes at all.
It goes so quickly.
It's such a well-paced film. But 48 minutes in, and I'm like, we've covered so much. We've, like, covered so much time in 48 minutes, and it's done in a great way. And it's not even like, oh, there's just only quote unquote interesting bits in there, because there's some bits where he's just like, you know, someone might look and go, why is that important? Like, you can cut that scene, what's that, like, interesting to? But I love but it, like, everything in it, like, I think's important enough to where it develops the time and develops Frank as a character.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote that. There really isn't a wasted moment in the whole thing. It's just the whole thing is so, like, strategically planned out, and every scene is exactly where it needs to be.
Yes, definitely.
And I don't know if I'd like to read the script for this movie, but I don't know if it's down to the script or down to scenes that were deleted in the editing room.
Yeah.
To just make it just flow as well as it does, because it really does. Like I said before, it just moves at a clip. This film.
I'm looking there now. One of the writers, Waldo Salt, he was one of the writers of. He wrote Midnight Cowboy, it's
so good. Which I recently watched with my girlfriend.
Yes, yeah, and I'm trying to look. Norman Wexler, I'm sure I remember that name. Oh, never mind. He wrote. Interesting. He wrote Staying Alive.
Oh my God! Yes. Amazing.
But I think I remember seeing one point, like an interview with Pacino, and he said like one of the big turning points of him doing the film was like one Sidney Lumet directing, and another was Waldo Salt who writing the script.
Yeah,
and the script is very like it's tight. It's a tight script. That I'm not sure if there's more to it. There probably is. I'm not sure if the script is as tight as the film is edited.
Yeah,
because the editing also is a big part of that, and I do agree that I would like to have a read through the script to see like what was like in
different,
there,
kind of. Yeah,
but I mean the combination of the script and the editing, it does just make such for like a smooth film.
Yeah, it really does. I think it's a really good. It's one of them films where it's all come together very nicely.
Yes,
like every little department of the production process on this brought their A game, and it's all culminated to something that just works on every single level. There's not one thing that kind of drags it down.
No, definitely not.
My next note was Serpico just got accused of being gay by the head teacher from Back to the Future. Because that's who that guy was. It took me a hot minute to realise it was the head teacher that's like, oh, McFly, you're always bloody late, you're like your dad or whatever. At the beginning of Back to the Future, it was him. And it took me a hot minute to realise. I was like, he just got accused of being gay by the head teacher from Back to the Future, and that's pretty cool.
I don't believe that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him. If it wasn't, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Let's talk about that scene for a bit.
Yeah.
Right. That scene it's really good. It's a really well done. Like that scene itself has an arc.
It really does.
Like it's like goes from like earlier when I forgot his first girlfriend's name, but he goes like the ballet and that, and then he's reading a ballet book.
Yeah.
And then he does the little twirl, which I've got a little fucking note about that. And so then the guy's like, that's a bit fairy-ish. That's totally the look he gave him. He's like, and then he goes to the bathroom, literally like, I love that. Turns the light on. Hey Frank, turn it off. So I wanted to read.
Yes, I'm gonna go piss in the dark now.
And he's like, what are you doing? And he's having a look, and then the guy comes and says, what were you doing? Doesn't stop the other guy.
Oh yeah, it's just Frank.
Just Frank. He's like, you were sucking his cock, and then Frank doesn't even go, no, I wasn't. He was like, what do you even mean?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? It's like, are you really accusing me of? It's not even like Frank's like, I'm massively homophobic. He's just, I don't know. He might be. It was the '60s. I'm not sure what Frank was like. But like, it's not even like he's offended. That's like, how dare you call me gay? It's like, what are you on about, mate? Like,
yeah, it's like, what are you talking about?
And it's getting that look that he's giving him of like, mate, like, is that seriously your issue?
Yeah.
Like, of all the things. And he's like, I know it. I saw shorts there a few weeks ago with semen on them. It's like, why are you being a proper detective about this as opposed to actually being a police officer? And that's like the total look on Frank's face of like, why?
Why is this happening above anything else?
That's totally the look he has on his face. It's like, I'm just like, what the fuck?
What the fuck is this? Which is completely fair because it comes completely out of nowhere. And I thought in that moment, I was like, shit, is this movie going to take a turn? Was Frank Serpico actually homosexual in real life? I googled it, he wasn't.
No. He's a very straight man.
He's a very straight man. But it was very out of nowhere, and I think that's kind of the point, is that they're taking any excuse to dislike him. Yeah,
because it's like, it's his attitude, and a big part of it is also the way he looks. Like, just generally, it's like, you're not fucking conventional.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like when he goes to the new police department, and the first thing someone says to him goes, get a haircut and shave that thing off your lip.
Yeah.
To which Al Pacino instantly goes, who do I have to talk? No. And then he goes like, oh, well, if you find an issue, take it up with the chief. Okay, then where is he?
He walks in. The guy's like, it's an impressive mustache. That's the first thing they says to him.
Brilliant. Like,
it is good.
But I love that. I like how he's not just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Or he's not freaking out. He goes like, okay, who do I need to talk to like, for that not to happen?
Yeah, to not do that.
Yeah. he goes, and the guy's like, proper like getting fuel there, and he's like, okay, thank you.
Yeah. I did appreciate that this movie is probably the funniest one we've looked at so far.
Oh yeah, I've got a few lines.
Because there is genuinely things in this film where it's like that's pretty funny. Like
there's a few lines I've got noted down that I did like have a laugh at. It's it's a lot of the times where it's just like, there's one bit where I'm skipping later in the film, but it's the bit where he's gonna go and he's preparing for some sort of like a court thing, and he's at the shooting range, and the guy kind of goes, "Oh, well, you're not going to say anything, are you?" He goes, "Well, I'll only answer if I know it." It's like, "Yeah, but you do know, Frank." And then Frank says something to which the guy goes, "Fuck you, Frank," and he just walks out.
I liked the one when he was at the party with his first girlfriend in the movie, and the guy goes like, "Oh, she's a real mindfuck," and he's like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Oh, she like, you know, goes for real intellectual types and stuff," and he goes, "Oh, she's she's very like, I don't know, she's very smart," or something like that.
Yeah. Oh no, that scene's brilliant as well.
Very perceptive or something like that.
Yeah.
It's so good. What a guy. I didn't understand why people call him Paco. Is that because Serpico?
I've got it. I can't. I saw a trivia thing, but I didn't note it down. Paco is short for like. It's like, I think Francisco's. It's like some sort of shortened term for Frank in Italian.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact name, but that's why.
Right. Okay.
I got confused. I was like, is that just a name he likes? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Paco, why not?
I liked the how you could kind of track the development of his second relationship as well by at first she calls him Frank, and then later on she's calling him Paco, and you go, oh, so they've been together a while then.
That's what I mean. It's like
another really well little line just dropped in there, like, oh yeah, that's pretty great.
Like
that's pretty good.
Like, because I struggle a lot when writing scripts to be like, how do I like? Because I mean, you know this, Robbie. A lot of my scripts are just like a scene or just like a lot of people talking, like, and within a short space of time, whether it be through one day or like 1 hour or something like that. Yeah. But like, and I always find it difficult. Like, how do I like communicate a passage of time without like doing full scenes of something? But this is actually a pretty good film to like analyze in the sense of like establish one thing early on. And then just kind of repeat that, but like subtly later, and then that instantly communicates that like, oh, it's passage of time. Yeah, like, as you said, like the fact there of like, we already got the thing of him explaining to his first girlfriend, oh yeah, my good friends call me Paco. He's like, oh, what shall I call you, Frank or Paco? He goes, Paco. And then so that's already established instantly right off the bat. So again, as you said there, where his second girlfriend calls him Frank, and then we're like 2 scenes later, he's being called Paco. It's like, oh, instantly communicated that there's clearly a
development.
It is really good to like. It would be a good film to analyze that, to really figure out how to like really master passage of time actually, without like being too like draggy with it.
I've written here that it took me about 50 minutes to realise this, but I've only just realised that his mate at the police force, who's like on his side and is a clean cop and stuff. It's Woody Allen's mate from Annie Hall, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It took me a while to realise, but I really liked his character. That there's a specific scene, when they're having an argument after all the stuff that happens with the newspaper, which is so good. It's just to give context. It's after they've gone to the newspaper with his mate seems to know a guy who has a direct line to the mayor, supposedly. And so they go with this full story about all the corruption that's going on, that kind of thing. And he's like, oh yeah, this is such a good story, this is gonna bust it all wide open and all that kind of stuff. And it's literally the next scene. Like they cut back to him with his girlfriend celebrating that it's gonna go straight to the mayor, and then it cuts straight back to him going back into the newspaper place, and the guy going, oh, well, you know, apparently we're expecting riots in the summer, and we want everyone to be on the side of the police, so maybe in the fall and all this kind of stuff, and he gets real pissed off about it. And he has this massive rant at his friend, saying like, "Oh, you always keep bringing up these names and people that you supposedly know that'll help us and all this kind of stuff," and it's really good. And that's when you kind of like, it's not the first showing of it, but it's definitely the first most like significant showing of how he's really kind of losing his mind with this.
Yes.
Because it really does grate on him that he can't do anything about this because everyone's against him. And then at that point you realise, oh, the mayor's probably in on it as well.
Yeah.
Which is not great.
No.
Obviously.
No, but yeah.
It baffled me that it was a true story.
Yeah.
Really.
And in the context of the film itself, the film is very soon after the aftermath of all this.
Yeah.
Because again, like it's at the end of the film, it's like, because I think it went till 1971, 1972.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember. But the film's 1973. So that's like mental. That's like, in context, let's bring it like in terms of modern day. That's as if like someone started making a film about George Floyd within the next few months.
Yeah, like it went into the production and was just going.
Yeah, that's like what that would be.
Yeah.
And which is mental to me.
Oh, yeah.
Because usually with true story stuff, they always like to let things breathe a bit, don't they? So they can like do a big thing at the end, like, oh, and here's what's happened since all that. But like the most they could have done is like, oh, as of right now, he's just living in Switzerland.
Yeah, he's retired to somewhere in Switzerland.
Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that it's based on a book as well. So that book turnaround must have been speedy. But that was written by Frank himself, wasn't it? Like,
well, it was Peter Maas who wrote the book, but I think Frank was involved with it. Obviously, it's
so it's because it's a biography of him, isn't it? So it's like
it's about that situation.
From what I could gather, yeah.
I know. Do you know what I'd be very interested in? I think about 10 years ago he wrote his memoirs, which I would be very interested in reading.
Yeah, I bet that'd be really great. I've written. I really like the shot when he's in his garden and he meets his second girlfriend. That shot where it's like split into two squares and everything's in frame and everything's very well placed.
Yeah.
And that whole interaction's really good as well.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I got it there somewhere where I just put like Frank is smooth as fuck. I just put
yeah.
Where it was like I can't
say you love my garden and that.
It was like, you know what they say? No, what do they say? If you love a man's garden, then you have to love the man. And she just kind of laughs and walks back.
Legendary moves.
But one of the things he said, she was like, "Oh, I like it." When she goes, "Oh, I thought it was so and so." He goes, "Nope, it's so and so." I thought so. And he goes, "You can hear it better here."
Legend. It's unbelievable stuff. It's stuff I wouldn't even dream of doing.
This is me fucking taking notes for opening lines. This is me what to say on an opening line on Tinder. That's why I'm like fucking scribble that now.
Yeah. The first opening line should now be, "What are you listening to?" Every time. Just like, when she goes like, "What are you up to?" "Oh, just listen to some music." "What are you listening to?" Blah 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 blah. "It sounds better from over here." Legendary.
And I'll see how quickly they unmatch from me.
I'll try it on Julia at some point this next week and see how long it is till she leaves me.
She goes, "That's stupid, Robbie."
That's fucking dumb, Robbie. You know what? I'll save that for next week's podcast and let you all know how it's gone.
Oh, please do.
I'll put about the. I liked the performance of, you know, when he gets sent to the other police department, the first guy that he gets partnered with.
Yes, yeah.
I liked his performance a lot. That laugh that he has when he's reversing down the road is like Mike Myers in Cat in the Hat. It was proper like sort of thing. I was like, I really like this. I mean, I shouldn't like the guy. He's a terrible bloke. The character's a really bad guy. But he's like swilling a guy in the toilet and whatever. But
but to be fair, didn't we like probably have bands and a load of people from The Godfather, and they're not necessarily.
Well, yeah, they're not great people.
So, you know,
it's a good point.
But yeah, I agree.
I love Fredo, but he's not a great bloke.
Yeah, God bless Fredo. We miss you.
God bless him.
We'll see him next week for Dog Day Afternoon.
Will we?
John Cazale's the supporting lead in Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh my god, I had no idea. That's so exciting. Oh, yes. I can't wait to see his big old head again. That's excellent. I wrote about the scene when his girlfriend kind of breaks down to him and starts crying and stuff.
Oh, when they're in it's the second time he's like freaking out.
Yeah. And
she goes, at least the second time we're seeing him freaking out.
Yeah.
And she goes, like you're the most important thing to me. So it breaks me apart when I see you like this, see you unhappy. And she goes, if it's so bad, why don't you just leave? And then he goes, well, why don't you? And she goes, it's crossed my mind. And to which she goes, well, do it then. Well, leave then. Yeah. It's rough. That's rough.
It's really rough.
Because in another comparison to another scene of Al Pacino having a breakdown with a relationship that was a film in the 70s, comparing it to in Godfather Part 2 with Kay, it's a very different feeling. It's even more heartbreaking, I think, almost with Frank and his girlfriend in Serpico, simply because obviously it's heartbreaking in Godfather Part 2, just because it's just an awful scene of just like
everything's heartbreaking in that film.
Yeah, it's not a happy film at all. That film, it's just like it's like I've had your child aboard, and then he hits her in the face, and it's like this is rough. I feel like I'm watching a massive domestic, and it's not nice at all. But,
it's not fun.
But with Frank arguing with his girlfriend, it's even more heartbreaking. It's like, oh, you were so good with each other. You would like sound with each other. Oh no, it's like seeing your two mates having an argument in front of you. It's like, oh, don't, please, no.
I think it's like it hit better for me because Michael Corleone's kind of a bad dude.
Yeah.
Frank is so pure of heart throughout the whole thing. Like he never wavers on his morals at all. He's always just like, I do it by the books and I do it right. Mm-hmm. And he gets nothing for it.
It's rough.
And that's the thing once he's been shot. I nearly hesitated then because I was going to say spoiler alert, but that's all we do here.
It's also the beginning of the film. You see?
It's the opening scene. But when he's been shot in the face, which we'll get to, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah.
But he says like when he's in the hospital bed, he says something along the lines of like, "This is what I get for being the only good cop," and that's really sad. Because
I when he started tearing up, I almost got proper emotional.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, and he wasn't doing a proper he wasn't doing an end of Godfather 3 where he's screaming and crying for fucking he's not overly dramatized crying. I used Godfather Part 3 because that was just the first thing that was fresh in mind. But you know how like some films where like the main character starts crying and it's a proper like really like overly long, but it's like he kind of just does like what you do when you're going to start to cry, but then you just stop yourself.
Yeah.
That's even more like, like you can just, it's almost like you just feel it gripping in your heart, really, of just like, because I mean, I've had that before when I've like been on like the absolute verge of bawling, but I'm like, just stop, just don't cry, Oscar, just don't cry, just leave it in, but like you're still like having a quivery lip. That's what that was, and it's rough, it's real, and it's raw.
It's the like subtle Pacino.
Yeah, again, best Pacino. The best Pacino.
He's so good in this film.
Oh, he's so good.
Well, we haven't really touched on that yet. Pacino's amazing in this.
My last note, I mean, we may as well say it now. I've got here, Pacino was great in both Godfather films, but I think this is his best performance.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would 100% agree. I liked the character more, I think, than I do Michael. And he's so subtle.
Yeah.
But so likeable.
In the same way, how we talk about The Conversation, how we said Gene Hackman is that film.
Yeah.
Al Pacino is this film. It's like you can't like the reason like it's such a good film, and the fact that Pacino is like in every single scene.
Yeah.
It's like of course like you can't like a lot of the praise has to go with Pacino.
Yeah.
Obviously, as well as Sidney Lumet, who directed the film, like brilliantly, absolutely amazingly directed the film. But I
don't think it could have been anyone else. I'm sure there'll be other casting possibilities in the trivia when we get to it.
There isn't actually.
Okay.
Like at least none that I could find. But I can't. Again, I
just can't think of anyone that could have been as good as he is in this.
No. Again, he's got almost that sympathetic babyface look to him.
Yeah, he has. Like, at this point in his career, he has, yeah. Yeah,
Pacino's really good at, like, he can get really intense, but he has, like, those, like, the big eyes, the big, like, brown, like, hazel eyes of, like, it's got some sympathy to him, because I just thought there, like, who else was around at that point? I thought, like, De Niro, I thought, he doesn't have, like, that, like...
He's
like,
not...
innocence to him. As much as,
he's
like,
still quite
Pacino
threatening.
does.
As much as I like him, he's still quite a threatening dude just to look at generally.
Oh yeah, I love De Niro, but like, yeah, I agree there. Like, it would have been a completely different thing. I think there's just something that Pacino has to him in this film.
Yeah, I mean, before I move on to my next note, I wrote down "You're tearing me apart, Paco," which is what his girlfriend says, because I found it quite funny.
Yeah, I thought that. I thought, God, the room's ruined so much.
Yeah.
The room's ruined so much.
It really has.
I haven't watched Rebel Without a Cause yet, and I know that bit where James Dean goes, "You're tearing me apart," and I know I'm gonna look at that. And I'm not gonna take it seriously because fucking Tommy Wiseau.
I mean, I thought of Godfather Part 2 as well, but it's just like, "You're tearing me apart, Fredo."
Oh yeah. No, he goes, "You broke my heart. You broke my heart."
Oh, you broke my heart. God damn it. That's what I thought. I was like, I've heard "You're tearing me apart" before, and I wrote it down because I was like, Godfather, but it's not, is it? It's the fucking room. I shouldn't mix those up. The next note that I have is something that really made me laugh. I, like, belly laughed when I saw this. The rabbi disguise really threw me off. I thought, like, I knew that we were tracking the passage of time in this movie via facial hair and stuff.
Did you
but he walks in with, like, a full bloody Gandalf beard, and I was like, what's going on? How long has it been? And then he, like, takes it off and that, and I was like, that's hilarious.
Honestly, you know what? I love that stuff. I'm just, like, walking in, like, you didn't even see, like...
There's no context.
You're like,
there's no context as to why he was dressed as a rabbi for no reason.
You're like, what was that mission?
Yeah.
What was that case? Like, one of our favorites. We both love Atlanta, and like of just like the odd like daft things that happens.
You're thinking like,
and it's like my instant thought was like Darius.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
But it's like, how did he get to that point? What was he doing? Was he undercover as a rabbi? Is that what was going on?
He would have been, because, like, what else? I'm like, what was he trying? What did he have to be undercover as a rabbi for? What involved that? Like, what was, like, that? Like,
exactly. Thinking, like, I hope that's in his memoirs.
Did he have to break a drug bust in a bar mitzvah or something?
Yeah, I was thinking, like, is that in the book? Will that be a thing that he's mentioned in his memoirs or something about? There was this one mission where I had to dress as a rabbi for some reason.
I need like a Serpico like mini series of like all the stuff we didn't see in the film Serpico.
And each of them was just him dressed as a different thing. Yeah. Like he's a party magician for one of them, or like a clown.
He's running after a bloke dressed like full on clown. He's running after someone down in like Manhattan. Just like...
Yeah, it's like the opening scene of Joker where he's got his big old shoes on, like stomping about down the street trying to run after this dude.
I need that now. Robbie, we need a pitch that. We need a pitch a Serpico mini-series. Not even necessarily a Serpico mini-series, just a mini-series of like of a quote-unquote Frank Serpico character of just like a policeman's misadventures.
Serpico the Wonder Years.
Like, each episode ends with him being like, I guess I have to sort out the corruption, and then like credits roll.
Yeah. What was he doing in Switzerland? I don't know. Probably dressed as another thing.
He's like, he's dyed his hair blonde. He's like,
he was probably a lion tamer, but for real this time.
I love that scene as well. I love that scene of when he's just he picked up, again, just smooth as all hell. Like,
picks up a gal.
Just rides her on the back. Goes, what is that? Oh, no, that's a gun. What have you got a gun? Oh, well, I'm a lion tamer.
Yeah, because I'm a lion tamer. Do lion tamers have guns? Is that a thing?
I don't know. And then to which she says all these things. And I was like, oh, I'm an actress, a singer, a dancer, and a Buddhist. He goes, oh, in that order. And then he goes, would I believe you if I told you I was a cop? No, I wouldn't. All right. And
yeah, he just carries on.
And then cuts to him like going to a ballet, and then in the rain with him trying to do a fucking thing. And I love. And again, those like literal few scenes. I love those bits.
Just like the little moments.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with the corruption storyline, but still, it adds like so much to his character. Still,
yes,
you see how he operates just in his general life, and he's just a great bloke. I mean, I can't speak for how he actually is in real life. I have no idea about anything except about the guy. But in this movie, he is depicted as just being a top guy. Yeah,
I've seen a few interviews of him recently, within recent years, and he seems like, obviously he's older now, but he seems like that's kind of like what he was like. There's a documentary that came out a few years ago called Frank Serpico, which is has Frank Serpico, which I'm very interested in, and they talk about the film, which I'll be very interested in actually watching.
Yeah, I bet that's interesting. A guy talking about, even if it's just for a portion of it, but a guy talking about a film that was made about him.
Well,
what they got right, what they got wrong, sort of thing. That'd be quite good.
Again, it's not the whole film, but there's a video that the New York Times did 10 years ago of a reporter watching the film with Frank.
Yeah.
And him saying a few things, and there's one bit of trivia which that he said in that, which I will save till the trivia section, which I find fascinating, which I find really interesting.
Cool.
I really want to read more into him. Just generally. But yeah, definitely.
I put there's a great use of lighting in the shooting range.
Yes.
When he's when the thing's coming towards him and he's shooting and it's just dark and then the light comes on and you see his face and he's like horrified.
Oh, I love that so much, yeah.
It's really good.
That's so fucking good. On a side note of the shooting range, once again, bringing back to Atlanta, did I just instantly remembered the scene where Darius had a dog picture?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Yeah. That was the first thing that came to mind when I saw a shooting range. It's like, you can't have that. Why not?
Why not?
Brilliant. But yeah, anyway, but that shot, the lighting, and then like the thing, he just shoots the target stops, and then the light of him just like, again, the wide-eye Pacino, fucking brilliant.
So good. Really subtle again, but really good. I said that there's a guy in the last team thing when they're going to bust that place when he gets shot. That looks exactly like Ezra Miller with a handlebar mustache. It's got nothing to do with anything, but he just looked like Ezra Miller. I just thought.
I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Real life stupid Flash Ezra Miller.
God damn it.
Why does he not know how to run in that film? Just side note, why does he run like a fucking idiot? It's your one thing. Get good at it.
Why does Ezra Miller as a person not know how to be a normal human being?
I mean, will the Flash movie ever come out? I don't know, maybe. It depends if he's like climbing another mountain in the middle of filming or something, or whatever he does with his time.
I hope it doesn't.
I mean, I'm excited now because of the Michael Keaton stuff. We're getting off topic. It doesn't matter. Anyway, but I did like how in that scene, because I'm getting like right to the end of my notes. As I said, I didn't make a lot of notes in this, but I loved how he was the only one trying to push that door.
Mental, yeah.
And everyone else just stood and watched, and was like, "He's gonna get shot."
Yeah, he's like, "What are you doing?
Help me!" Because everyone's just stood there looking at it with their guns pointed.
There's a bit in the trailer too, because I watched the trailer to that Frank Serpico documentary where Frank is at that apartment place.
Right.
It's identical to the film as well, by the way. I'm not sure if they.
Oh right, okay.
It's like pretty much exactly what it looks like, and he's talking about it all, and it's exactly how it happened. I was like there, and he was just like, "Is anyone gonna help me?" And then he turns and he got shot.
Jesus.
And one thing I've realised, I'm always fine with gore and stuff. I've realised things that really fuck me up. One, Achilles heels, like anything to do with Achilles heels. And two, anything to do with fucking hands. Yeah. I've realised that, where he's just like, it's like scraping the back of the door scraping the back of his head. I'm like, I hate that, I can't look at that.
Like probably like cringing up like, oh no.
It's like, so I've realised that from this film, a combination of that film and every fucking Mike Flanagan film, I just like, it's like any fucking thing to do with hands just really gnarls me up. Again, someone could get a jaw just ripped off or like just innards. Just
I'd be fine. A Saw movie, I'm fine.
Mate, I watch the Saw films near enough yearly, and I love it. I have a well fun time. You do anything with a hand? Nah, man.
None of that. Thank you. The last note that I have is just that I really like how the film wraps up.
Mm-hmm. Him and Alfie.
Yeah, exactly. And when he's sat in the courtroom, that really nice sweeping shot that comes around, and that was the first time. Well, it wasn't the first time the score stood out to me, but that was definitely a moment where I was like, this score is so good.
It's such a good score.
Those like really nice piano notes playing as it comes around, and it kind of looks like the guy who's taken the minutes, who's very obviously not typing words. It kind of looks like he's playing the piano whilst he's typing stuff out.
No, do you know that's how it happens in court?
Really?
It's not like a typewriter. It's a certain, I forgot what it is, but it's like a certain thing. I think I remember seeing because if you watch the Ted Bundy tapes,
yeah,
you can see the guy doing it. He's like watching it all happen. He's kind of just doing this. Apparently, it's like a thing. Like, it's a certain machine, because my auntie, who lives in America, does that for a living. And
right.
And she has, like, she's taken a photo of what it is. Because I always thought it was like a typewriter. It's like
same, yeah.
I can't remember what it is, but it's something to where it's... I can't, like... But, like, that's how it is. That's, like, the technique.
That's really weird. Like, I just thought, like... I don't know. I thought it was a typewriter, so when I saw it, I was like, "That guy is not typing anything." It looked like you know when that video of the cat playing chopsticks.
Yes, yeah.
It looked like that, just dashing his hands on it.
Yeah, no, like I thought the exact same thing for a long time, and I was like,
yeah,
what is? And then, but no, that's like just a thing. Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Render me an idiot. It's fine. But yeah, I really like that, and I liked the last shot as well of him sat with Alfie, and that's how I've got Julia on board to sit down and watch this film with me, because I sent her a photo of Alfie and she likes dogs, and that is the cutest dog, dude.
Alfie's brilliant,
and it's another thing where you can track the timeline of the movie with how big Alfie is.
Yeah.
As it goes along.
Yeah.
Because he gets him when he's a puppy, and by the end he's a fully grown, big old dog.
He's bigger than Frank.
Big old sheepdog. I liked the Al Pacino. They make no attempts to make him look bigger in this film,
and I love it.
He's very little. There's a shot where he comes like they go off. It's him and one other police guy come off to a side to have a conversation, and Al Pacino steps right up to the camera, and the other guy steps up, and there's literally like a foot between them.
It's almost kind of like that works in the sense of like how like he's the smallest guy on the force amongst these people who are kind of towering over him, and
100%.
It does, and he is kind of like one against all to an extent, which is like, like that's. I think that works well in his height. How tall was Frank Serpico? I'm curious.
I'll have a little search, but I'll just talk about how cute the dog is. It's a cute dog, man. It's so fluffy, and it'd be a great dog for a cuddle. It looks a lot like Julia's dog, actually. So, there you go. I'm doing this whilst blah blah blah. Oh, about my cookie and stuff, guys. Isn't it exciting?
I can't find its height, so I'm not sure if it was accurate. But anyway, but yeah.
God damn it.
But before I get on to the rest of my notes, what I realised as I was watching the film, I was thinking to myself, I'm not really like properly like detailing notes as I have been the past few weeks, but I think that's not an issue with the film. The film like kind of like it's not really, there's no real hidden meanings or any hidden pieces of storytelling. It's just a really solid film.
It very much just speaks for itself.
Yeah, and I think again we as much talking as us two chumps can do can't really highlight how good Pacino is in the film. Like all we can do is go, guys, he's really fucking good. He's really good. He's really good. I'll just go through my notes. I go where I left off. New York filmed in the 70s is such a unique feeling.
Oh yeah.
One thing I've realized, I love New York. I want to go I mean, maybe not now. Again, I think New York's controlling itself right now in COVID. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
I think America overall at the minute is a bit of a shit show, but that's a different thing entirely. But I've always wanted to go New York anyway, and so I always have a fondness with New York in any sense of fiction, and again, I just love the feel of it. Again, it's got that grit to it, but there's also the fun little moments where he's going across the street and the kids are blasting the fucking fire hydrant at him. It's just moments like that. There's just something quite raw about the film, the way that it depicts. I got in quotes here. Again, this is something that I found quite funny. The BCI never had a weirdo cop before. Frank then says, "Stop bothering me."
Yeah.
He goes, "Stop bothering me." I just love
that. Please leave me alone.
I got it. The first thing Frank does when moving in a new place is he gets some water for his newly bought dog. I love that. That scene, you could be cut that. That's not important with the police corruption. But it's just the fact that he just walks, gets out the car, sees just a bunch of dogs that two people got. He goes, "Oh, hello there." And she goes, "Hey, would you want one for free?" And he goes, "No, I'll pay for one."
Yeah, I mean, I think that scene is a really good showing of his character, because as soon as he went up to him, I was like, those people are dodgy. Because he asks, "Where did you get the dog?" And she's like, "Oh, they're mine." Yeah. And I'm thinking, are they though? And myself, if I saw something like that on the street, I'd be like, that's really dodgy. And I wouldn't buy a dog from him. And then, not only does he buy the dog, he then goes, "Oh, can you just look after my stuff? I'm moving in. Can you just look after my stuff whilst I take the dog inside?" Yeah. And I'm thinking, that stuff's going to get stolen, you idiot. But then it doesn't, and they were genuinely nice people. But it's me being judgmental and prejudiced as a person. Whereas he just is a really trusting guy, and he just sees the good in everyone. And I think it was a really nice way of showing his character over anything else, really.
Again, it's not he's "Oh, let me mind the dog for a bit while I take all my stuff in." He goes, "Right, I'll take the dog. Let me literally go in." He looks, gets a pot, he goes, "Fill water. There you go."
Yeah.
Goes just in, and then it's that's his first priority. It's and another example is when he starts shouting, when he has the argument, when him and his second girlfriend break up, and she runs out, and he's about to go because "I have to pay for that," and then he pays. Yeah. Here, and then because he could have very well, he could be "Whoop," and off, but he's "But I haven't paid. Let me pay."
Yeah.
It's just little moments like that I love so much, because again, it's just he could have done a very movie thing of just "Oh, let me run after my girlfriend so I don't want to leave her," and then the thing is always shouldn't he have paid for that? Oh, it just never comes back though, because it's a movie magic. Movie
magic.
But it's I look again what would Frank do? That's
he would probably pay for it. The script stays very true to the character throughout. Yeah. The character they're trying to create.
Yeah. I love how there's no we already said that, no typecast to indicate the passage of time. I got here. I love how he doesn't take anyone's shit, specifically the ballet book scene.
Yeah, I love that, because he does a really camp wave at the end, which I really enjoy.
He goes, "Bye."
Yeah.
It's the bit as well where the guy's clearly trying to poke him, saying, "Oh, you're doing ballet, are you, Serpico?" He goes, "Yeah, I am. It's good for you."
Yeah.
And he's trying to be "Oh, you fucking gay," and and Frank knows what he's trying to get at.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's he's just yeah, it's a good read. You should look at it.
He takes it really seriously, and then he goes "From this position, I can do literally anything."
I love that so much.
And he's literally just stood. It's not he's in a specific ballet position. He's just stood there, and he's "From this position, I can do literally anything."
Again, that's why I love it's quite a serious topic, but it's not it takes some nice downtime, even in the moments where he's clear. There's not one moment, I don't think, where Frank's "Oh no, I'm so upset."
Yeah, it's still a fun movie.
Yeah, he's kind of
bits of levity in it.
It's he knows people are shitheads, and he's well, as long as I'm not a shithead, I'm fine. He's the pure mindset of I'll work with them, but I'll never talk to them outside of work. That's like literally what it's that's the equivalent of like, I'll work with you, but I'm not having a pint with you. That's literally what it is. Like, I'll deal with you. I'll cope with you. Which is how I think a lot about quite a few people. I'll deal with you and I'm going.
Ooh. That's what Hutch said to us at the beginning of the first year.
I think everyone said that to us. By the way, I want to say, I don't want to think about that of anyone. I mean, in life, I feel that about most people in life. I'm not calling out anyone in uni. Jesus.
I know. No, but that is what Hutch said to us, though. It was like, there's people that you'll work with, but you won't want to have a beer with them.
Yeah, like there's people that you would want to work with, but you don't really want to like hang out with them. Which is and that's like Frank in this film. He's like, well, I'm not gonna like.
That's exactly his mindset. Yeah.
I'm not gonna be a bitch about it.
Yeah.
That party scene is brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, this is Paco. He's a police officer. That's all sorts of relatable. Like at the beginning of it, where like you get introduced, and then people go, "Oh, that's good," and then they're off. And he's like
gone.
And then Frank's like, "Oh, okay, fine, yeah."
I love the bit when he's talking about his family crest being a sheepdog.
Yeah.
That was really funny.
One thing I do have to say, they could have cut a line out of that. It's the end bit of when they're dancing, and his girlfriend goes, "Everyone loves you, Paco. I love you, Paco." And then it cuts to like him in a police station. Like, that didn't need to be there. Like, we know.
Yeah, no.
Like, we know. He's getting on with everyone. Everyone's loving him. Everyone loves a bit of Frank. And then
everyone loves a bit of Paco.
Paco. It's weird. But yeah, like that's. But again, I love that scene. It just felt like, again, like moments like that. It's just like nice and downtime, like in between all of that. Like he's awkward at times, and he settles in, then he's talking to anyone. Like, that's like, again, it's not like he's instantly in there. He goes, "Hello, how you doing? You a police officer?" "Yeah, I probably fucking meant me." I love that bit where he's like, "Can you not tell anyone that I'm a police officer? Let me just like feed that in there."
Yeah.
Because that's always I hate that whenever someone goes like, "This is Oscar, he does this," and then like you just get quizzed like briefly, and then they leave you alone.
Well, it's like at any place when anyone says, "This is Robbie, he does comedy,"
I can
and
imagine.
then they go, "Tell us a joke then." No, it's not how it works. Do you see a microphone? It's like asking a footballer, like finding out someone's a footballer and going, "Do taps," when they ain't got a ball with them. What do you want?
What do they expect for you to do? Do 20 minutes?
Yeah, it's like
do a whole set right there and there. You have like a beer bottle and you lose that as a microphone.
Yeah, exactly. Well, give me a hot minute. Finds the nearest stage.
I need an announcer going, "Ladies and gentlemen, Robbie Tweedale."
Oh God! If it was anything like that, I think I'd be very good for myself.
What have I got there? You
looking. Is it another?
Oh yeah, no. I misread it. I thought it said "U5 without looking." I went, what the fuck? "You fire without looking." I've got in quotes that scene. It's like,
oh my God, that's so good.
I love that scene.
I forgot about that
so much. Where he just goes, "Sorry, Frank, I didn't know it was you." It's like, you didn't know it was me. You fire without looking. You fire without a warning. You fire without a brain in your head. Just, love that. And it's the bit where he goes, "Hey Frank, can we?" He goes, "Oh man, shit, we're gonna fill out all this paper." He goes, "Yeah, so you should. Should." And then he goes, "Oh, let us have the collar." And he goes, "I don't fucking believe this." Like he outright says to him, he goes, What the fuck?
Why would I do that?"
Because it's my thing. It's my thing. He goes, "Yeah, but you know, we can't help us out." And he's like, he's like, "Fucking fine."
But you can see where like the seeds are planted for him to be very on edge all the time.
Oh yeah.
When he knows that the police officers don't like him, he knows that a lot of them are corrupt, and then they shoot at him without warning, and he's thinking, "Did they do that by accident?"
I love it. Yeah, where like he just goes, "Hey, it's me, Serpico." They're still moving in on him.
Oh yeah.
He goes, "I'm a police officer. It's Serpico," and then he has to back up in the corner.
Yeah.
Showing his shield, and the guy goes, "Jesus Christ, Frank, how was I meant to know it was you?" And he goes, "You stupid fuck."
Yeah, it's like, He's shouting.
Yeah, literally, like going like, "It's me! Stop!"
Yeah.
It's not even like it was crowded or anything. It was literally those four guys.
Yeah, it's just like a very, very open place.
And he's the only one shouting as well.
Yeah.
Like, again, like, I like to feel like, I don't, like, when that moment there, I'm like, I mean, not in as extreme of a moment. That's like, I saw the way, like, right, if anyone wants to see how, like the angriest I can get, look at that scene of that, of Frank there. Example of when I just remember when Reese just was shoddily putting away an easel, and I looked at Frank and I looked at Pacino, and I'm like, I feel like that. I didn't see my face. I feel like that was the exact same look that I gave Reese.
That is exactly that. Is speaking as someone who was there at the time, that's exactly how it went down. It was just you going, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, just like, you stupid fuck, like, you stupid fuck. So there you go. Like, again, all sorts of relation there.
Shout out to Reese Bruce for no other reason except being just an exceptional bloke.
Love you, Reese. I miss you. I do.
Miss you too, bro.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I got here in relation to that scene as well. I think it's such a raw feeling film, but every moment is real and visceral.
Yeah.
Like, even like it is just such a real film here. I see the bath scene for some reason really hit close to home for me. I don't know why. It was
when she says that she's getting married.
When she goes, you know the guy from Texas. He goes, yeah. She goes, I'll marry him in 2 months if you don't marry me first, or something like that. And she goes like, well, why would you do that? She goes, I want to get married someday. And he goes, yeah, well, someday's a long way away.
Yeah.
You can tell Frank's like at least in this film, he's like, like, I just kind of don't really want to marry. I want to be on the job.
Mm-hmm.
Which, fun fact, isn't Frank Serpico at all, because I'll delve a little bit more in trivia, but his two girlfriends in this film, in real life, he married them both.
Right.
So, and I kind of, like, in terms of a real life storytelling, you know, that would have been in there, but I like how it wasn't, because in the context of the narrative, I like how he doesn't marry.
Yeah, it would be too much, I think.
Yeah.
To have 2 weddings and whatever, yeah. And
the quote here, and the end quote here, when he goes, am I invited to the wedding? And then to which he goes, I'll ask Roy. And I just went, and I love that scene. They're still in the bath. They're still just like that. It's not a big argument either of like, she's like, I want to marry. He goes, no. Yeah. And she's like, why? And she's like, look, I can't like keep doing this. And he's like, all right then, well, you don't have to then.
Yeah. It's not very melodramatic. I think that's what a lot of those downtime scenes kind of add to, is the fact that this film is very real life.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, there's so much corruption, we've got to stop it. No, it's all dark and everything's miserable. And, even when life's a bit miserable, there's still those like little moments of laughing and joking with people that are close to you and stuff. And I think this film reflects that very well.
Definitely. And I got in there as well, that scene specifically, I love the use of close-ups.
Yeah.
Which, again, they use them every now and then, and whenever close-ups get used, it's always, it's meant for that. It's meant for that scene. Which I just love that. Like, again, it's the wide shot of them in the bath. You see Alfie just walking about in the back.
Legend.
Just loving life.
Shout out to Alfie.
Just loving life. And then we need to do like we should get like a shirt of John Cazale with Alfie, and that would be like your favourite shirt ever.
Oh my god, it'd just be John Cazale riding a big Alfie.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That should do you know what? That should be like the banner for the Intermission Podcast.
That should be our logo.
That should be like the header on Twitter and YouTube and all. Just John Cazale riding Alfie. I'll look into doing that.
Oh my god, yes. I'm commissioning Julia to draw that.
Even better, she can draw. That's excellent. Because I was gonna say I could Photoshop it. No, she can draw it.
She can do like a cartoon, cute little version of it. That'd be great.
Oh, I would love that.
I'm commissioning it. I'm commissioning it after we record this.
Which John Cazale? Are we doing Fredo John Cazale? Godfather.
Yeah, Fredo. It's got to be Fredo. That's when I fell in love with him.
Godfather Part 2, Fredo. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway. Yeah, and I got here Frank's fashion is style goals. I love his fashion. I just love it. I love it so much. I got 43 minutes in, and I love that the film is a character study on a good person as opposed to a villain and anti-hero. Which is like, because when you think of 70s, that's a lot of things in the 70s, isn't it? Or like even recently, like people love character studies on like fucked up people. I'm a sucker for it. Joker, and I'm a sucker for it because there was a period of time where I loved American Psycho. Like I was obsessed with American. It's a great film. And we get all these films, but I like how we actually have a film that's a character piece on a guy who's a good dude.
It's like, just like morally good.
We don't get enough of that. I don't think there's not enough. There's not enough films where it's like this is a character study on someone who's a nice person.
Yeah.
And not even white meat.
No.
Top of the morning to you guys. I love life. He's nice, but he's not like annoying. Like he is just like a good guy with it, and I think and I love that how it's like. Again, I think it's refreshing as well especially in a time in the 70s where the 70s really shined when it went really into cynical filmmaking, like cynical.
Oh yeah, Taxi Driver.
Yeah, and I mean
Conversation falls into that kind of.
Yeah, even Conversation like leans into that. And I mean the whole films that we've talked about have been about kind of messed up things. Yeah. Like even Willard in Apocalypse Now, he's not a bad person, but he's fucked up.
He's fucked up, yeah.
Whereas like Frank, he's not fucked up. He's just like
he's just a nice bloke.
He's in a fucked up place, which I find really interesting.
Yeah, it's more the position he finds himself in than the character himself.
Yeah,
which is great, and you don't get that now. I mean, we could have had it with Man of Steel if he wasn't such a mopey prick.
Yeah, exactly.
But these things happen.
Exactly.
But yeah, you don't see it anymore. You see, this dark and tormented and blah blah blah. Nightcrawler's a good one for that.
Yeah, Nightcrawler's good. You know,
there's a good modern interpretation of something like that. Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, if I keep hearing, you know how people warn about like how the Joker was like, it's like Taxi Driver and all that stuff. You know, I would absolutely love if the Batman was kind of like, it's like Serpico, but Batman, like that type of tone to it, where like Batman's the only good in a fucked up Gotham. Again, I don't know what the Batman. It looks like it's gonna be long Halloween-esque, which I'm still down for. But you know,
that'd be so great.
But I would love like how we get like Joker, but a Batman film that's just like. Batman.
Like everyone's got something about him that's a bit fucked up. Even like Jim Gordon's got like some demons and stuff like that. Like,
that'll be neat.
God, that'd be good.
I got here, mate. The saxophone music is fucking rad.
Oh yeah,
and again,
I love a saxophone. I really do.
Go to our Conversation podcast to when we gushed about saxophones.
Yeah,
just love it.
Stick that on the logo. It's John Cazale playing the saxophone, riding Alfie.
There you go. It's going to be
perfect.
In quotes, you could hear it better. Oh yeah, I've already said you could hear it better over here. Frank is smooth as fuck. The film's premise is an honest cop trying to rid the force from dirty cops, but it shines as a character piece with the calmer moments with Frank outside of work, which is what I like. Again, the film, I think we talked about in the conversation where it's like the pitch line for this film is an honest New York cop blows the whistle on rampant corruption in the force only to have his comrades turn against him. That's the pitch line. Yeah. But the film is about Frank. It's a story about Frank Serpico, who is a police officer, but we don't only see him as a police officer. We see him like just living life. Yeah. Which is like what I love so much. Because again, the film literally could have just purely been about Frank in the force. And the only times we see him in his apartment is just him like in his apartment, just like thinking about how can I do this? What can I do? How can I bust this corruption? But when he's at home, he's just, again, there's literally a scene of him in a bath with his first girlfriend, and they have a very civil breakup, and not even about the police force.
And it's not over dramatized.
No,
it's not anything. It's just like a chat.
Yeah, and
she wants to get married. He goes, I don't really want to.
Yeah.
Okay, this probably isn't for us then.
Yeah, it's not even a breakup like, oh, you're too serious about the work, it's making me miserable. He goes, oh, well,
yeah.
We get that later on, which makes it even more, like, intense, I think, when we get that scene later on. And, like, again, scenes like that, and, of course, the garden scene where he's just trying to pull again. Like, just like moments like, it's brilliant. Like, I love them.
It's a great effect, by the way. Legend.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Frank's a relaxed person who's passionate about his work. Which I like about that. Like, that's just literally like, he's intense, but he's not like mental. He's chilled, but he's like very like passionate about what he's doing.
Yeah.
Kind of mental that the police's reputation hasn't really changed from then to now. It only takes a few bad apples, and it really does.
I was gonna say this film seems very timely at the minute.
Yes, and I love it's from another police officer's point of view, and I'm not saying because it's very easy just to almost do a thing where it's like, especially now, it's very easy to do fuck the police, and it's like, I mean, fuck bad people, really. Just that's really like what you, and I think this film shines with that message. It's not like the police are all bad people. There's Frank who's like. And it looks like Frank's the only good person, but there's that one moment where he's getting talked to. He goes, "God, Frank, you're not the only honest cop."
Yeah.
Which is
very hopeful.
Exactly.
I think it's a very hopeful outlook about the whole thing.
Yeah, and the fact that this happened. This isn't just a film that Sidney Lumet just directed. This wasn't like a thing that Waldo Salt and Norman Wexler just wrote a script about. It happened. Which I think is a story that kind of needs to, especially nowadays. I honestly think...
It needs to be,
it needs to get people need to look back at what Frank Serpico... And the dude's still alive. Frank Serpico's still about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not a police officer. He retired in 1972. But, he's not... his story's still able to be heard, I think.
Yeah, and it's still... I would say it still gives hope to what the police have been known for at the minute and everything that's going on with that.
Yes.
It's a very hopeful story to look at for one police officer going, nah, fuck that.
Exactly.
That's daft. What are we doing? Sort it out.
It only takes one bad apple to sour the bunch, but it also takes one Frank Serpico to to
get it good again.
To balance that out, which I like that overall kind of message here. This is in relevance to the scene where when he's at that breaking point when that you're on about where the mayor's office didn't go through and he's arguing with his friend, and I got in quotes here where it's like, you don't trust me, Frank? I don't trust you. Go fuck yourself. Fuck you. And I just put wow, what a scene. And it's just I remember thinking that as it's happening, I was like, this is such a fucking good scene. This is that's because throughout the whole film, it's he's being calm, he's trying to keep his cool with it. And that's just the moment where it's what more can fucking go wrong? What more can I do? And it's he's not perfect because the guy's trying to give solutions I know a guy who's good here, and he goes, another guy you know, and he's Frank, just literally listen to him, he's giving you answers, and then the moment goes, what, don't you trust me? He goes, no, I don't. He goes, wait, Frank, come on, think things through.
And it's the dialogue in that scene it's very basic. It's very bare bones and very real of just go fuck yourself, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's very basic, but it's real, and I think that adds to the impact of it quite nicely.
And the odd cut between them arguing to his girlfriend,
to her getting more upset
in the corner. Yeah, that's a good edit, because that's almost putting you in the sense that's how we're feeling right now, watching that scene. Because if it's literally just Frank and the guy arguing, we would naturally put ourselves in Frank's shoes. Almost, I think, because we've been following Frank. This is Serpico. This is Frank's film. So I think, if it was just seeing those two arguing, I think that effect wouldn't work as well, because we would be thinking from Frank's perspective, whereas the fact that we're cutting to an outside party watching this happen, we're seeing like, oh no, Frank's been a bit unreasonable. He's been a bit unreasonable with this.
Yeah.
Which I just absolutely love that scene there. I love how wide ranging the score is. I noted that down when he's meeting the police officers in the park.
Oh yeah,
which is also a brilliant scene because there's like I think that score is kind of more like a like that type. I thought, wow, I just realised we went from like this slow violin type of thing or like this Italian like I don't know the instrument.
That was great.
There's my impression for the week.
There's your impression for week.
But you know, like that, like kind of Italian type of guitar stringed instrument thing, and then we go from a saxophone score to like almost this like synthy thing of like which I like. Again, that's why I like this. Like, again, I love like a nice consistent score, but I almost like a nice wide ranging score because it's like it puts you in different moods of the film. Again, like how this film's trying to be very real and lifelike. It's like, oh, there's different emotions throughout life, and so the music is giving you different emotions.
Yeah.
And again, that scene's brilliant where he walks up and he goes, right, Frank, what's happening with the buddy? He goes, I know, he's just keeping it for himself. He's keeping it in there. And they're like, oh, motherfucker. He goes, Frank, just take the cut. He goes, no. No, he goes, why should I start now?
Yeah.
It's like, and then they all like spread. They all like separate or something like that. I think like the last thing that like is said to Frank is like, just stop fucking things up or something like that.
Yeah, it's like, you're so fucking weird, Frank, or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And then he meets with that other McLean. And then he goes, I went to an outside party. He goes, why? He goes, and there's that scene as well where they split off and Frank's like, where am I supposed to go? Where am I meant to go? He goes, everywhere's going to fucking hate me. Like, what am I meant to do? Like, what's my life right now? And you can see him just slowly descending into, like, this absolute, like, I'm trying to do the good thing. I'm trying to be good, but everywhere is fucked up.
And I think that's the one scene that character doesn't end his conversation with Frank with saying, like, God bless.
Yeah.
Or, like, God be with you or something like that. Because he says it at the end of every conversation that they have except that one.
Yes.
Where he just storms off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead. This film makes me want to be more educated on lenses.
Yeah.
Again, from that scene when they're all crowd, like it's the close-up, but it's like a wide angle. I'm like, God, I can tell like there's multiple uses of lenses here, and they're so good. And I'm quite unfamiliar with lenses, and I'm like looking at this film, and I'm like, God, I want to like look more into that. I want to know like what lenses are better for like telling different pieces of storytelling.
Yeah, like I did a full blog on on lenses.
I mean, yeah, you were a cinematographer, so you know.
Yeah. But
yeah, like that's like one thing I gained from this was the use of lenses and the mount. It's like really well done, I think.
Yeah, it's great.
I got here when Frank reaches his breaking point from throwing his prisoner around.
Yeah.
It's such a natural feeling of evolution of his character. But like that scene, I love that scene so much because you know he should. The arrest, by the way, is so casual. He just walks up to the guy. He goes, "Yeah, I'm a cop," and he like tries to get his badge out of his apron.
Yeah.
He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You're under arrest."
And and
he goes like, "Oh, I thought you were a druggie. I thought you were a druggie." And he goes, "Give me your keys. Get in the car." And then he just drives him. He goes, "Here's my prisoner. Do that. I'm just going to look through his car." And he goes, "Where is he?" "Oh, he's upstairs." And he's just bullshitting with the other cops.
Yeah, he's just chilling with the other guys.
And he goes, "Empty your pockets." He goes, "Yeah, I don't do that." He goes, "You fucking will. You're my prisoner. Yeah, empty your pockets." "Hey, Frank, he's good people." And then he just fucking just like, and he goes like, "Fuck this guy." And then he just grabs him, throws him against, just rips his fucking...
Yeah, when you see his bare ass at one point.
Yeah, what does he shout at the other guys? He goes like stay out of this. Or so, like at that point, he's like, just fuck everyone. None of your business. Like, this is not what policemen do. Go fuck yourself. And he like just rips the money out, just throws him into the cage, slams it. And then
I love the bit with the chair. I'm gonna say that was improvised. But he just picks up a chair, puts it back down again, and he's like, you know what? He goes back for it and just starts slamming it on the floor until it breaks.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone's kind of stood there like, fuck. And then like someone comes in, he goes, I got his record. And he goes, huh, you know what? He was 15 years. Do you know what for? Killing a cop. He's a cop killer. And he just like starts typing it up. Just like fucking just pissed off at everything at that point. It's such like a brilliant scene. Just like, I love that. Again, such raw. Like that's like 70s filmmaking to me. Just raw intensity.
I mean, it's only like one shot. There's only like one cut in the whole thing.
Yeah,
which is when they cut to him throwing him in the cage.
Yeah, yeah.
But the rest of it, like, his rant afterwards is all completely in one take.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I think it cuts to a closer up of him when he turns around and goes, "Stay out of this," and then like.
Yeah.
But like it punches in at like the more like those moments. But again, by that point, you've seen him try to keep things calm, and it goes, "Yeah, I believe he would absolutely lose his shit."
Yeah, because you should.
Yeah.
He has every right to, because everyone's been a shit.
Yeah, he goes like, "He's my prisoner, come on." He goes, "No, I don't do that." He goes, "Yeah, you do, you're my prisoner." He goes, "No, he's good at people." He goes, "Not my point, not the point at all."
Yeah.
But yeah. More than any time in recent... Oh, yeah, I got it. More than any time in recent years, we need stories like that of Frank Serpico to be heard / seen. Not to forget the bad in the world, but to make it known that there are people trying to make things right for no other reason than it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be more of that. And again, I love a good
100%.
I love a good villain story. I do. For like a pure cinematic purpose. But I also think more things need to be done like this film, in the sense of like, let's look at someone who's doing something good. Not because it's like, oh, I could advance in the world. He's like, nah, just why shouldn't I do that?
Yeah. And
there's a specific point at the end, which I'll get to in a bit, that really like hits that bit home. Where am I at? Oh yeah, I'm glad Frank isn't portrayed as a saint.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I'm happy about, because it's like it could have very well been like, oh, Frank's just the salt of the earth. But again, like those moments when he is like just freaking out at his mate, or when he's just arguing with his girlfriend, and she goes like, and he goes, "What the fuck's this? Why meet you in a cafe?" And she goes, "Because you won't shout here." And then he goes, "I can shout wherever I want to."
Yeah.
And he goes, "That's an arsehole thing to do. Don't be a dickhead, Frank."
Yeah, don't be a dick, mate.
Because you know those people who just get in arguments in public places. Like, mate, why?
Yeah.
Like, you see it happen, it's like, just wait.
I experienced it this weekend.
Oh, really?
You're not going to go into details. My friend got kicked out of a pub. It doesn't matter. Continuing on.
But you know what I mean? Like it's like...
Yeah,
so
it's
like,
just uncomfortable.
Yeah, so he's not... It's that guy who's, like, next to him as well as, like, looking at him.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. Like, that would be me at that point. Just like...
Oh, yeah, you'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, so it's like...
he's not perfect. He has his moments where he falters.
Which I love so much, because, again, it's like, I don't think I would have liked Frank that much if he was just, I'm just a really nice guy.
Yeah, he's three-dimensional. He's not just, I'm a great bloke and that's the character.
He's not white bread. He's just not white.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not just... He's a bit of...
He's a Kingsmill 50-50.
That's what I was thinking of. I couldn't think of them.
There we go.
And the scene of him at the end, talked about there, such a nice raw feeling of like that when he got shot in the face.
Yeah.
And then back in the hospital, and then when he's like, the chief comes in, and he's like, "Oh, Frank, you're gonna get the Medal of Honor, and here's your gold badge, here's your gold shield." And then he goes like, "What is this for? For being an honest cop or being stupid enough to get shot in the face?"
Yeah.
And I got here. It had to take him getting shot in the face for management to give a shit. Like it's like, but that's true, isn't it? It's like he's been saying all this thing of like, just like, right, let's stop this before things get bad. He gets shot in the face, and people are like, "Oh, Frank gets a Medal of Honor." And he goes, "Why though?"
Died.
And he goes, "Why though? Why do I get a Medal of Honor? What's the point? Why?"
What's the point at this point?
Yeah.
I've done all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And now I get a Medal of Honor for getting shot in the face.
I went to management 2 different times.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this little fucking case for you. and it took a bullet in my face because no one would help me out.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why do I get big ups now?
I love how much of a dick the commissioner is, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
He's such a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
But he played very deadpan. I really liked it.
Yeah, really is. And yeah, my final point. Pacino is great, and it's his best performance, I think. It just is.
Yeah, I'd entirely agree with you there.
Again, I love him as Michael Corleone. I love him in the first two Godfather films, but...
First two.
Well, you know, the third... What was part 3? That wasn't Michael Corleone, was it?
I love him in the Godfather films, all 2 of them.
All 2 of them. Part 1 and part 2. You know.
Excellent movies. You know, the ones that exist. Anyway.
Not the one that got nominated for 7 Academy Awards for some reason.
Stop. Jesus Christ.
But being a bit happier, yeah, I do honestly think this is Pacino's best. And
easily, I'd say,
we didn't talk much about it. Sidney Lumet directed the fuck out of this film.
He really did.
My final point of this is, we praise Pacino loads in this. I want to throw some appreciation for Sidney Lumet. Again, I'd say he directed my favourite film of all time, being 12 Angry Men. And he's a guy, he started off as a theatre director, and then he moved into TV, I think, like doing some TV stuff, and then did film. And it really shows like he has a grasp on storytelling through so much in all mediums.
Yeah.
Really. And I think this film shows, because I think, again, I'll be interested in looking up the book, if I'm being like the Serpico book, because I think, but this film specifically, I think this film could read really well as a play. I think it could be told very well as a TV show, like episodically. And I think it could work well as a book as well, like just reading it. And it's a film, the way he makes it, it just truly is like a really nice, wide-ranging, adaptable story.
Yeah.
And
exactly, yeah.
My last point, I fucking love Serpico. There's not much to really truly deep dive analyze about it, but I don't think that means anything less about it. Because as I was watching, I was like, it's just fucking great. I can't say any more about it. There's nothing really to be like, oh, there's this nice little hidden meaning. It's a fucking solid performance. It's really well directed. Editing's incredible. Score's fantastic. Cinematography is brilliant. It's just... And I can't think, and there's nothing I can cut.
Exactly.
It's 2 hours and 10 minutes, and it goes. And I honestly thought it was 1:40. Like when I remembered the film, like before I stuck it on, I thought, oh, it's like 1 hour 40, and it was like 2 hours 10. I don't remember it feeling that long. And I watched it 2 hours 10 minutes later. Still didn't feel like I was there for over 2 hours.
No, because the pacing's that good.
I think it's why you're so invested in Pacino's performance as a whole that it just fucking works. It's, again, I think it's, you know what would be like the conversation in this is a nice counterpiece almost. Like that would be a good back to back almost.
It would actually, as a 2-piece thing to watch together.
There's no real.
I think those two work really nicely.
There's no link to it. It just has that nice 70s character analysis feel to it. Yeah,
of two very different people, but I would say that it would work well as something to watch back to back, and I think I'm going to fully say it. I genuinely do think that Serpico is the best film it's the film that I've enjoyed the most of the ones that we've watched so far for the podcast.
That's fair. I still prefer the first Godfather, but this is a solid number 2 to me. Yeah. In all honesty, and I love Apocalypse Now as well. Apocalypse Now is also very high up there. Yeah. And you know what? That's a solid 3-way tie. I can't pick a favourite out of those 3, but God, it's such a good film. So, I mean, if you watched all this, we just spoiled the whole fucking thing for you. But
sorry.
You know, if you haven't seen it, it's your own fault, really. But go and watch it, because again,
if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's great.
Because everything we've just said doesn't do it any more. I don't think it does it as much justice as how good the actual film is overall. Yeah. Right then.
There's nothing we can say except the film speaks for itself. If you want to know how good it is, watch it. It's amazing. We can't really say anything that'll help.
Indeed.
But it's so good.
If you're a UK resident, it's on Now TV. But if you like doing the Blu-ray collections, I know Eureka has it on their Master Cinema label, which I've got, and it's a really nice Blu-ray. It comes with a booklet essay about the film, which I need to read.
Aww.
So it's
cute.
Absolutely brilliant. Anyway, let's move on to some trivia. Not masses amount of trivia. That's still fine.
Cool.
First bit of trivia. The film was shot in reverse order. Al Pacino began with long hair and a beard. Then for each scene, his hair and beard were trimmed bit by bit until he became clean cut.
Genius.
Which is just the smart way of filming a film like that. You do all those things in reverse.
Do you know a film which takes a really difficult way of doing something like that? Batman 89, right?
Okay.
This is going to be a tangent, right? You know Joker in that movie? He's got his bleached white skin, but he puts like skin-coloured makeup over the top of it.
Oh, don't they?
And it's a cool little gag that he did. But they had like specific mixtures of paint so that he could like he could use a specific oil that would rub the skin bit off and reveal the white underneath, but wouldn't take the white off his face or whatever. Just put a bit of white paint on a cloth.
Yeah.
And rub it on.
Yeah.
It's not tangent. Sorry, but it annoys me.
Yeah, it's a bit.
It's
odd.
dumb.
Yeah. After he decided to make the film, Al Pacino invited Frank Serpico to stay with him at a house that Pacino had rented in Montauk, New York. When Pacino asked Serpico, "Why did you do it?" Serpico replied, "Well, Al, I don't know. I guess I would have to say it would be because if I didn't, who would I be when I listened to a piece of music?" I don't understand the end bit there.
What? What?
That kind of makes me love Frank Serpico a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, it makes no sense.
It started off making sense. It's like, who would I be when I listen to a piece of music? Because, wait, what?
Yeah, what? What do you mean when you listen to music?
I don't get it. But I love that as well. Hey, Frank, come stay with me. All right.
Yeah, he just would. He's like, yeah, okay.
Al Pacino considers this movie to be one of his greatest achievements as an actor. Mate, I would say
I'd agree with him.
I would say it is your greatest achievement.
Yeah.
As an actor, purely as an actor. The film ends with an epilogue that says Frank Serpico resigned from the police department on June 15, 1972. He was awarded the Medal of Honor for conspicuous bravery in action. Serpico is now living somewhere in Switzerland. Serpico discovered he didn't like Switzerland and returned to the US as of 2015. And as of 2015, he's living on a small farm in upstate New York and working as a guest lecturer at police academies across the US.
Wow.
So he went to Switzerland. He's like, I'm not really fond of this, so he just went back.
Not for me. I thought you meant like he went to Switzerland and thought, this isn't for me, and came back in 2015.
No,
it took him a while to decide it.
I forgot to incorporate the full stop there. But yeah, that's the case. There, he was like, I'm done now. Cheers.
What a guy.
But yeah. After spending a lot of time with Al Pacino as he prepared for the role, the real Frank Serpico wanted to remain on the set during filming. Producer Martin Bregman said he had to hurt Serpico's feelings and offered him to leave because he believed that his presence would prove a distraction.
What?
Yeah.
What dick move. They're making a movie about the guy and he's like, can you just fuck off whilst we do this, please?
That's purely the role that a producer only has to do.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's dumb.
Sidney Lumet is like, I'm not producing the film, you do it. I have to say that's one thing I loved about being director and not producer about when we were doing the film at uni. I was nothing really major happened, but like I had to go like to Talia and be like, oh, could you do that, Talia?
Yeah, can you do this? It's not my job.
Thank God that she's a good human being and just does it. Anyway, not like bullshit.
Thank God she's competent.
Yeah. I just find it really amusing that like I'm the oldest of the class and she's the youngest, and like the oldest is like, oh, could you do that, please?
Yeah.
But yeah. That's totally. I could imagine like Sidney Lumet just watching Martin Bregman go to Frank Serpico and be like, yeah. Could you leave? And Sidney being like, I just never have to do that in my life. Yeah. Why would I have to go through that? Let me talk to Al. That's it.
That's success, that is.
Hey, Al, how you doing? I'm doing wonderful. This is much more happier than working on The Godfather, Sidney. That's fair. That's fair, Al. That's
Fucking
fair.
Brando.
Boy, I hope The Godfather 2 isn't a pain in my ass. That's the exact conversation Al Pacino had with Sidney Lumet on this Serpico.
Oh no.
Hey, you know what? I don't like Brando. I hope De Niro's not a bad person. Right, action, Al. Go fuck yourself, cut. Brilliant.
I hope the epilogue isn't unnecessarily complicated to film for no reason. He says, very specifically.
I think Francis wants Coppola back. I think Francis... he's the same person. God's sake, Oscar, you're an idiot.
God damn it.
I'm moving on. The joke's done. According to Sidney Lumet, Al Pacino always needed to be in the character's state of mind in any given scene and could not shed that state off camera. So he behaved according at all times, either happy, joking and laughing for a light-hearted scene, or angry and lashing out at everyone if the scene they were working on called for that behaviour.
Okay.
I mean,
you know how I feel about method acting.
Do you know what? I think the best example of method acting is DDL, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't be an absolute...
He doesn't be a dick.
Yeah. I mean...
And Leo DiCaprio's pretty good for it, I guess.
Yeah.
That time when he was eating fish for a bit or whatever, like raw fish and that.
Yeah, he was like living the lifestyle that he would have lived in The Revenant, which is fine.
Yeah. Fine.
Just leave You know what? Just leave the crew alone. Like, that's like
just leave the rats and condoms out of it, is what I would say.
That's a big thing as well. Like just leave the crew alone. That's like my big thought process. Like, just don't fuck. If you're an actor, this is just a PSA to any actors out there. Just don't fuck with the crew. They're stressed. They're really stressed.
Yeah.
Like,
if you're gonna go a method, do it to the other actors where it'll incorporate their characters as well.
Yes. Don't just literally. If you like, oh, let me just tit around with the lighting guy. Never mess around with a lighting person. Never do it.
No, never do that.
They've got enough stress as it is, mate. Don't do it.
They've got enough stuff to deal with. Don't do that to them.
Don't fuck with the sound person. Because believe it or not, they need to make sure that everything's not causing an interference.
Yeah.
Just leave them alone. You know what? Fuck with the director if you want. But even then, don't do that. Just don't do that either.
Just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Just don't be a prick.
Yeah.
I think is the issue that was.
Yeah. The film was scheduled to open by Christmas. That left 4.5 months for shooting, editing, and mixing. An insanely short time in Sidney Lumet's estimation. Therefore, the editing had to take place during filming. Without the luxury of time, it was necessary to finish shooting a scene and rush it to the editor, Dede Allen, who had cut the footage within 48 hours and have it ready for delivery to the sound department.
Oh my god.
It's mental how well edited the film is as well.
Yeah, what a turnaround. That woman is insane.
Yes.
Because she, with the Bonnie and Clyde thing that I was saying about earlier, she edited Bonnie and Clyde, and she kept a nude scene in.
Right.
You know the big nude scene in that movie where everyone was like, "Oh my god," and they had to like redo the Hays Code and all that kind of thing. She kept that in, but was told by the studio to not do it, and then kept it a secret until the movie was coming out, and just kept it in anyway.
I love that.
Legend.
But yeah, that's mental to me. I love how I look like the quick filming of Serpico was a thing that Pacino had a ragy to Coppola about on Godfather Part 2 when he was like, Serpico only took this amount of time. Meanwhile, cut the Serpico where Sidney Lumet's like, God damn it, why have we got so little time? Why have we got so little time? So yeah, that's why it took so quick, Al. Not because Sidney was like, oh, we could get this done really quickly. Because it's like, no, you got 4.5 months for everything.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no.
That would terrify me.
Yeah. In the film, Serpico has 2 girlfriends, Leslie and Laurie. In real life, he married both women, plus 2 more, Marianne and Marianne.
Wow, so not gay.
Definitely. Majorly not gay.
So the head teacher from Back to the Future was wrong, is what we can say.
I am majorly straight. I want that to be a comeback for someone. You're gay. Someone turns around. I'm majorly straight.
I am the straightest man you'll ever meet.
I'm so straight. My friends call me ruler.
Oh, gee, move on. Next bit of trivia, please. Oh my god.
The film
You better cut that. That was awful.
Really, that's the thing. That's of all the things I've done, Robbie. That's the thing. That's the tipping edge of this.
But like that was one of the worst jokes I've ever. That probably broke me, and I don't know why.
Maybe I should go into stand up and say shit jokes, and people.
Maybe you should.
People just start laughing at like how shit I am, and I create a new form of comedy.
That is exceptional stuff. Please do that.
Do you remember my stand-up performance when we had the theatre ourselves that one time? I'm not sure if you were there. Where I just walked on stage, and just looked blankly in the distance, and then walked off.
That's all Russell Brand used to do. He just put a paper bag over his head and just sit there, then walk off after like 15 minutes. That's all he did.
I go to the Andy Kaufman School of Comedy, is what I do. Anyway. The film. Oh no! Here's a casting thing. The film was planned as a star vehicle for Paul Newman and Robert Redford, following their success in Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. Redford was to play Frank Serpico, and Newman was to play his lawyer friend David Dirk, a character renamed Bob Blair in the final film, where he was played by Tony Roberts.
Cool.
That would have been interesting.
Robert Redford would be an interesting choice, yeah. I can see that.
Robert Redford could have done that, look, like that innocence, I think.
Yeah,
you know,
I'd say so, yeah.
And you know what? I'm not a humongous fan of Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, but I like the chemistry a lot. I like Redford and Newman a lot in the film. I think this year, though, they did The Sting, which won Best Picture, which I still need to see that film. Because a lot of these casting things we always look at and we go, no, would not have wanted that. We're happy with this casting. But I would have been but I'm well happy the fact that we got Pacino as Frank.
Yeah.
But
I'm interested in the alternate timeline though, where Robert Redford got that.
Yeah, definitely. Principal photography began a year after Frank Serpico resigned from the New York City Police Department. Mental.
That's ridiculous.
Yes, exactly. Before shooting began, Sidney Lumet and the production company had to cast 107 speaking parts. They decided to use mostly unknown actors. Lumet said the best way to strengthen the sense of reality was not to use actors for whom audiences had a lot of previous associations. Even Al Pacino, despite the high exposure in The Godfather, was still relatively new.
Yeah.
Which he was.
So. Good idea.
And it does. Like the fact how we only know, Al Pacino, and everyone else is kind of not like, they're like, kind of like, oh, who's that? I don't know, just someone.
I know him as like different characters that they've been, but no, you don't know the actors.
I know.
No,
F. Murray Abraham was an uncredited role in the film. But yeah, that's the only when I look through the cast list in IMDb, that's the only other name that I recognise. But he wasn't in the. I think he was the guy in the bed where Frank had the mouse. And he goes, what's with the mouse? That's another brilliant scene where he goes, oh, this is my partner. Yeah, he sniffs out heroin. And the guy goes, I think I've heard about that. And then Frank goes, yeah, have you? Because, he's bullshit. And the guy goes,
he's clearly talking shite.
He goes, oh, yeah, I've heard of that. And he goes, have you?
Oh, really?
I love Frank so much. Like, Al Pacino as Frank Serpico, I would want as a mate in real life. Like, it would be a thing of, like, he would just talk shit, he would bullshit to someone, and they would be like, oh, yeah, I know about that. And they go, oh, do you? And I would just be in the corner just pissing.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like, I don't fucking believe this. Fuck's sake, Paco. You're mental.
Fucking hell, Paco, you're a legend.
Can I find a friend called Paco?
He'd be an excellent wingman as well, I feel. You
know what? He would.
Yeah. Pretty great.
There you go. I need a Paco in my life. Okay, yeah. The actors were allowed to do some improvisation in their scenes. Much of Al Pacino's explosive reaction in Serpico's last abortive meeting with his former captain was off the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, feels like just very fucking less, like, hot.
Yeah.
Like, just, like, fucking just, like, really just, like, hot off the pan type of, like, intensity. Which, I think, you know what? I think that's, like, what, like, a lot of that era of film was really well known for, is like that raw, intense acting, improvisation, which I don't think we see. The closest thing I think of within recent years is whenever DiCaprio's in a Tarantino film.
Yeah.
Like the thing in Django Unchained where he cuts his hand and he just goes with it.
And then rubs it on the woman's face and it's all...
Yeah, and then like in your favourite film of all time, Robbie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he trashes the trailer, which I love so much. I love that, which is completely improvised. And it's like moments like that, like I love so much. I was taking
It's a pretty good scene, I guess. Let's not talk about it.
No, we're not. But that's exactly like it's things like that. I think like filmmakers that can get away with that, filmmakers that kind of like they have enough cuff to do that.
Yeah.
Sidney Lumet liked to do very simple things on the first day of shooting, like basic entrances and exits, to let actors and crew get used to each other and make them aware that things will move very quickly. He will often shoot just a single take and move quickly to another setup. He said this process also helps to spot weak links in his team. The first day on this film, he worked at 3 different, fairly far-flung locations. Al Pacino was initially stunned, especially after coming off the methodically slow, deliberate process of The Godfather, but he had the rest of the cast soon learned that this fast pace and had the benefit of keeping the inner tension of the narrative and the characters alive. I dig that.
Yeah, that's cool, lad.
That's him not being an arsehole as well to his crew.
Yeah.
Like, you hear about directors doing things, like doing, like, specific scheduling to, like, oh, we want to get this feeling for the film. Like, Kubrick's a big example. We did, like, nearly 200 takes of this scene. But that,
why, though?
But that drives people insane. Whereas, like, this is like, right, we're doing this now. Go on this end of the town. Oh, fuck, why? And then it's just like it's...
And he has a chat with them beforehand saying, look, this is going to be a fast production.
Yeah, exactly.
Move swiftly.
Which I love so much. Oh, God.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
I've only seen 4 Lumet films. I needed to see more of his stuff. He went from the late 50s all the way to 2007.
Jesus.
And from what I heard...
What a guy.
From what I heard, a lot of them weren't... Like, he did some pretty solid ones in all those times.
Yeah.
He did a few misses. He did The Wiz.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah. Which I was like, wait, what? But he did the 70s Murder on the Orient Express,
which I haven't seen.
Which came out a year after this. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's
nice.
It's not bad. But yeah, here's a bit of a note here. John G. Alvidson, who we all may know for directing Rocky 1.
Yeah.
And 5, was originally to direct Serpico, but was replaced just before filming due to differences with the producer. That would have been interesting.
If it had gone Rocky 1 style with it, I guess that could have worked, because Rocky's a character piece, technically.
Yeah, Rocky, you know what? And also kind of a similar feeling film.
I'd say so, yeah.
But the next bit of trivia isn't written down from IMDb. This is from that, New York Times video that I watched of Serpico, watching Serpico. He commented on the scene when he got given the badge in the bed, in the hospital bed,
right.
To which Frank Serpico said that didn't happen, that's Hollywood stuff. And then... the guy asked him, like, did you get it at the hospital? He goes, not in the bed. They handed me over at the counter. They handed him the badge of honor and his golden shield over the counter like a pack of cigarettes, as he said. And he didn't have.
Oh my God!
And he didn't have like a ceremony or anything about it. They just went, "There you go."
That's daft.
That's
so stupid.
Which again makes me so interested to learn more about the actual real man of Frank Serpico.
Yeah.
because
oh yeah, me too.
Such a fascinating story, and he seems like he had a fascinating life even after all of this.
Oh yeah,
which
yeah.
He seems just like a fascinating bloke generally. Anyway,
mm-hmm.
You know, like how like in the film, like Pacino's always wearing different clothes, like constantly.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's just Frank Serpico. Like he has like just a different outfit daily, just like.
I'd love to see his wardrobe.
Oh, same. I'd be like, what's your wardrobe? Like, you know,
yeah.
it looks like stuff that he's had since, like, the 60s. He goes, I'll just keep this.
Yeah.
Because why not? Still fits me.
Respect it.
I look fine.
Respect the hustle.
I look fine in it. Yeah, definitely. Right. Yeah. Negative Letterboxd reviews. Let's do it.
Here we go.
Half a star. Okay, there's not many half-a-star reviews.
Okay.
I don't know what to expect with this. Okay,
I'm looking for a solid one.
First one. Yeah, okay, right. What's the one we need to beat? Too Much Jungle.
Too Much Jungle. In Apocalypse Now.
There was that Apocalypse Now one had some belters. There was that other one where it had half a star and the review was poop.
Yeah.
Good. Right, okay.
Mustaches aren't very good. That's another one to beat.
Right, Howie, come on. There's plenty of mustache in this film.
Come on. Let's do it.
Right. Half a star. While I was completely invested in the story, there was something about it that didn't resonate with me as a film overall. I mean...
That's not a half a star rating, though, is it?
No, that's like, maybe like 3.
Yeah, if you're still invested in the story, then you're not... Shut up, dude. You fucking idiot.
That person clearly wanted to be on the Intermission Podcast. That's what that was.
I know, they're clearly a fan. Thanks for listening, dude.
The review was 27th of May 2020, so before we even conceptualised it, but you know.
It's got to be.
Half a star. Why so boring? But it wasn't.
It's not.
I realised that's a lot of these negative reviews of films that we really like. It's like, it's boring.
It's real boring.
Guess what, maybe.
Well, you know.
What's this guy's favourite films?
Yeah, go on.
I like to look that up.
Transformers: Dark of the Moon.
Loveless, which I don't know that one.
No.
A Separation, which is an Iranian film from 2011, which is actually apparently really good. And from what I heard, quite a slow film. It's Spellbound. I think that's the Hitchcock one, yeah. So, good films. But,
that's strange.
But half a star for Serpico. Interesting.
What should be Sunbet? Trying to annoy us.
Half a star. Worst. Just that's the review. Worst. I want to the username of this bloke or woman, I don't know, doesn't have a profile picture, is Yucky. I'm not gonna make it any more comment, but Yucky gave a half-star review on Serpico with the review being worst. That's all I'm saying about that. That's all I'm saying.
That's all we're saying.
Half a star. I expected to like this, but it was a piece of shit. That's such a... I didn't expect that drastic turn of events. That's like someone talking...
It's like someone reviewing an ex-girlfriend.
I was just about to say that. It's like someone talking about an ex. I expected to like this, but it was a piece of shit. I love that. That's the best review of this one so far.
That's a good one.
It's such a... I expected to like this, but I found it quite boring. Or like, I expected to like this, but I didn't. But no, I expected to like this, but it was a piece of shit. It's like...
It was a piece of shit.
It's like, Jesus, what a fucking 0 to 100. That's a...
All it would have taken with 2 more words in that. If it was like, I expected to like this, but it was a cheating piece of shit.
That's literally...
Then it's like, oh, I think you put your review in the wrong place.
That's like someone meant to send a message to their best mate and they accidentally like put a fucking review for Serpico. Oh, God. The next one is a 1-star review. That's foreign, so I'm not going to try it.
Oh. One of these days I'm going to make you.
It's like, you know what? One day I'll do one, but it's not today. It's not today.
When Duolingo's been going for that long.
Yeah. 1 star, truly some horrendous fits in here. I assume that...
No.
No, you know what? I assume that means the clothing fits. You're wrong, because it's beautifully baggy 60s outfits.
Yeah, you dick. I thought they were talking about Godfather 3. Oh, God.
1 star, gave up halfway through. Well, then you can't comment on the film.
Well, yeah, well, then don't comment, because you haven't watched it all. You idiot.
1 star and a half. So well intentioned, it's unsufferable. Thank God Chinatown came out a year later and showed us all what a hard-dicked movie looks like. What the fuck?
What? A hard-dicked movie?
What the fuck's a hard-dicked movie?
Pain and Gain.
Apparently...
That's a hard-dicked movie.
Right, Chinatown. I wouldn't say that's a hard-dicked movie. Jack Nicholson plodding about trying to solve a mystery. I wouldn't say, look, yeah, that's my testosterone levels cranked up.
Hell yeah, dude.
Well, I'm like kind of uncomfortable that Roman Polanski is doing a story about a dad that's kind of wanted to get with his daughter, but not really as well. That's a bit uncomfortable. He didn't write.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
Yeah, that's not what the film. That's not what the film's about. I want to iterate. That's not what it's about. But have you seen?
Yeah, it's like.
Have you seen Charles?
I haven't.
No, okay,
I haven't.
well.
It's like what Baby Driver's like for me now.
That's awkward. It's still class, but it's a bit awkward.
One of my favourite films is now a paedophile calling another paedophile baby. And I don't know how I feel about that.
You're like Eric Striffler watching Outbreak. Okay, Me Too the movie. That's what that
Me
is.
Too the movie. Oh, God.
Right, another foreign one. Again, not going through that. Not doing that. Next one, star and a half. Thought the second half was better, but really struggled and was quite bored during the first half. Also, didn't much like the forward time jumps after what seemed like every conversation. Took multiple attempts to watch the whole movie.
But no.
I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was like one of these ones where it jumped so much in time where I felt like we skipped over loads.
No, I feel like you spent your right amount of time in each period. Yeah. I reckon.
And the way it happened, you almost felt like the film spans 12 years.
Yeah.
It goes from 1960 to 1972, and there's some moments where it's like it feels like the same day, but it wasn't, but that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I think I mean I can agree with this one. Like I can see why someone would think that.
Yeah, that they're a bit like, wait, can we settle with the scene for a sec? I can get that.
Yeah, I can get it.
Again, I don't necessarily think that's a star and a half.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a bit dramatic.
Maybe 2.5 if you really didn't like it, but
yeah.
Anyway, star and a half. Not a bad film. It is just so dated, and the pacing is excruciating. I think the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I think it's aged massively well, and the pacing's brilliant. I think it's just again, yeah. And the final review, -1, star and a half. The most interesting thing in the movie was watching Alfie grow. P.S. Which it wasn't real.
Was this my review? God, I love Alfie so much.
Alfie's brilliant. But yeah.
What a good dog. What a good boy.
The best review of the day has to go. I expected to like this, but it was a piece of shit.
Yeah. Excellent stuff.
I'm not sure.
Well done to you.
I'm not sure. I mean, that has to be the caliber of Too Much Jungle and Pathetic Mustaches.
Yeah.
I don't.
You win the Intermission Podcast Award of the Week.
Oh, do you know what we need to do?
Which is nothing.
We need to do a Hall of Fame of all these fucking reviews.
Yes.
Of the best ones. I'll do that. Oh.
Stick them on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Right.
Merchandise.
Right. I'll give you credit. Thank you, Blue God, for giving us that beautiful
Cheers,
review.
mate.
Don't have any of their favourite films, so I can't credit there. But Blue God on Letterboxd, thank you for giving the 0.5-star review of Serpico, saying I expected to like this, but it was a piece of shit. Beautiful.
Top banana, mate.
No facial hair comments.
Yeah, weird one, that. I was expecting something about a handlebar somewhere.
I like how in all of the fucking films that comment about mustaches, it was The Godfather where only 2 dudes had a mustache.
And they were pathetic, let me tell you.
Apparently so. Right. On that note, let's get to the wrap-up of this.
This could be our shortest episode, you know?
You know what? Not the end of the world.
We're currently at 2 hours 7.
Holy shit. But I want to say this as well. Next week's episode, we're sticking with Sidney Lumet. We're sticking with 1970s. We're sticking with Al Pacino. And most importantly, we're revisiting John Cazale with...
Let's keep this hype going, yes!
With the 1975 film, Dog Day Afternoon. Which I only seen once. I remember fucking loving it. I remember really liking it. But yeah, Robbie, what I'll say to you, don't look anything up about this.
Okay.
Nothing. I'm not going to tell you any more about it. Just...
Okay.
Dog Day Afternoon. There you go. It's the same...
I lost my energy there from getting scared.
No, more so not because anything sketchy's going to happen, just because just because it's one of these ones where it's best knowing fucking nothing. So I'm going to say
first thing my mind went to was a From Dusk Till Dawn situation where like 20 minutes in it will be revealed that loads of people are vampires.
Not really, no.
Oh, right, okay, well, that's okay.
What did we think? Oh, you thought, what was it, like Apocalypse Now was good? It was going to happen with that or some shit. I can't remember. I'm sure we said something about From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, probably in one of them. I can't remember what it was now.
Was it Conversation? It was Conversation. We thought, was it? Yeah, you said something. You thought it was going to go one majorly drastic direction.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember what I said. But
neither can I, but I remember that being said. But yeah, anyway. Oh my god, what? My brain just fell out there.
It's okay.
Yeah,
man.
Dog Day Afternoon. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter to see... Because I post updates there on where you can watch these films if you're a UK resident, if you want to watch them with us.
Yay!
Links as well to my Letterboxd. And you know what, Robbie? I'm going to take away your personal Instagram.
Oh my god.
And put in your new Instagram.
Oh my god, I've got a new Instagram. Woo!
Do you want to say what that is?
I'll plug it. Yeah, I've got my private account, which will be for putting up pictures of my mates and my girlfriend and other things that are happening in my life.
I don't think I've ever seen a picture of you and your girlfriend on your Instagram.
Don't call me out on that, because then she will. Anyway.
It's just the way you want to pictures of my mates and my girlfriend. It's like, I don't think I've ever seen her there.
I'm sure she's in one of them. Let's not talk about it. Anyway.
Right, before you say this, right, I love how we've kind of made... I'm all right saying it, aren't I? Oh, you've said it before, haven't you?
Yeah, go for it.
Right. I love how we've kind of made Julia a side character in the intermission. It somehow happened.
Yeah.
We've made Julia and Gary two side characters in this intermission universe.
These presences that you might meet one day, we don't know.
I mean, if you want to know more about Gary, go to the episode 1 of And We're Rolling and just, maybe if there's a picture of John Cazale riding Alfie playing a saxophone, that's all Julia. So there you go.
Yeah, that was all Julia.
But yeah, go.
No, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So that's I got all my private stuff, pictures of my friends and my girlfriend. And and I thought, I started putting things up because I've been doing some things whilst I've been at home in lockdown, film-related things, making music video for Pride for my sister, doing loads of CG stuff in Blender and all that kind of thing, some visual effects art and all that kind of stuff. I started putting on my regular Instagram, and I thought, why is it on here? Because that's all I'm posting now, and I need to post more photos of, real things that are tangible and matter.
Not a CGI Spider-Man.
Not a CGI Spider-Man sat on a bench. Anyway, so I've made a new account. It's public. I'd very much appreciate anyone who would go to follow it. I'm just putting all my CG and film stuff and everything on there. Be regularly updated, probably weekly, I'd have said, because I've got other things that I do. And I'm trying to do stuff in between, but sometimes it proves difficult. I'm learning Blender, so if you want to watch me learn and get better at it, drop us a follow. It's Tweedale_film. So yeah, if you'd like to follow it, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Again, I'll switch out that Robbie_Tweed with Tweedale_film on Instagram.
Cheers, dude. And I'm more likely to answer DMs in there as well. So
that's what I was just gonna say, because Robbie is a beaut at not being instant with messaging.
I am notorious for being the worst for answering messages.
He's all right to organise something, unless if you got a few days before a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I get a message per 2 days in response to what I say.
It'll say, "Do you want to record at 1:30, 3 days before we record?" And then on the day at about 1:20, I'll go, "Yeah, that's fine."
And I go like, "Okay, Robbie, sound
okay, cool."
Brilliant.
Or I just won't message until I just put I'm online.
Yeah,
I'm on Skype now.
that's another reason why I can't wait till we can see each other in person, because I miss the days where I message you, I don't get a response, so then I have to go, right, I have to go to Titan now, and then
and you show up at my door.
It's like, Robbie, I need you, okay.
What the fuck you doing? And I'm usually doing nothing.
Or like I ask about, I go like, where's Robbie? Oh, he's like in the edit suite, and I go in the edit suite, he's not there, and I go, and then I see like Leonard, I go, have you seen Robbie? And he goes, he's in the other edit suite next door. So then I have to go next door in that tiny ass cupboard, and you're like, you're playing guitar because you were doing some sound stuff. And then
for some reason
I went, Robbie, here's your backpack. Like a fucking like a fucking parent, Robbie, you left your backpack in the studio. Here it is. I'm going for lunch.
I'm pretty fucking useless. But I'd be less useless on an account where no one messages me.
Exactly. So there you go.
So if you're gonna message me, do it on that one.
Also, throw a little bit of a shout out. Last week I gave some. I know that's completely irrelevant. I'll say it now anyway.
Do it. Go for it.
Last week I threw some love and attention over to my auntie's crafts business, Crystal Chips and Paper. Just remind people, go and check that out again. Give it a go. Give it a look at it. If you want some nice bracelets, nice necklaces. If you want to learn more about crystal therapy and the meaning of all that stuff, go look at her Etsy page and her Instagram, because she posts some, and her Facebook, because she posts some stuff on there of what each crystals mean and stuff. So
cute.
It's interesting stuff if you're into that. Right, Robbie's got to do something. I don't know. You're doing something.
Have I?
I don't know. I didn't know. You got work on you later today.
Yeah, I've got work.
Yeah.
I'm at work at 5:15. If you want to come see me, here's the address. Don't do that. please don't come to my work.
Do you know what? That would be like the worst thing. Like that would be such a funny fucking thing if we get any form of big enough attention in anything to when it comes to you working and someone goes, Robbie from the Intermission. And
oh my god, can you imagine? I'm just there like collecting glasses, and then someone comes, oh no, I've given away that it's a pub. Oh no.
There you go.
Someone just comes in and they're like, hey, I followed you here from the podcast. Don't do that. Please don't follow me to work.
We'll see you next week for Dog Day Afternoon, where we revisit Robbie's love for John Cazale.
Oh, I love him so much. Have a good week, you guys.
Robbie, I'll let you close it out. Go on, say something.
Okay. This has been me, Robbie, and him, Oscar. Thanks for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you. We'll see you on some afternoon, specifically a Dog Day 1. If you get it, because we're doing Dog Day Afternoon next week. Ha ha ha. Bye.